Hey y'all, it's Garth. The Big 615. You're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. That's the thing we call the Big 615.
Download the free TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. Or ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,875. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you, are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinking to drink. All right, here we go. Ohio fiscal officer steals funds so he can buy hot tubs, owls, a drum kit, and a snow cone machine. Meanwhile, Google and Apple complain about Amazon Kindle and all of the pages of peen. Dead body saves hearse driver who crashed off a cliff. Man and baby on airplane, they get into somewhat of a tiff. And if you're looking for a cold Miller High Life in France, good luck with that. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. You might remember a few months back when Southwest Airlines canceled 17,000 flights and lost over $1 billion over the Christmas holiday. Well, Southwest continued their winning ways yesterday when they delayed 1,500 flights nationwide due to a, quote, technical issue. That's a lot of angry passengers. Maybe that's just a Southwest thing, though, because even on flights that were not delayed, well, passengers were still angry. One man in particular, he melted down on a flight because a baby was crying for 45 minutes straight. He went on a profanity-laced tirade that would be funny if it weren't so pathetic. He ended up being escorted out of the airport by police officers upon landing. But look, we get it. Traveling can be stressful, and a screaming baby does not help, but you got to keep it together, right? Passengers on an Australian Airlines flight, they kept their cool. Their flight had to turn around after 2 hours into it. The problem? 5 of 8 toilets, quote, malfunctioned. Now, we're not entirely sure what a malfunctioning toilet does, but it's bad enough that the plane had to turn around. But planes aren't the only nightmare scenario for travelers. Cruise ships, well, they offer their own brand of trials and tribulations, and it used to be just norovirus and food poisoning. But hey, in the last few years, there's been a steady uptick in people going overboard. On average, 1 to 2 people go overboard every month. And usually it proves fatal, but one guy, he went overboard and he managed to survive. Granted, he had to tread water for 15 hours in the Gulf of Mexico, but hey, he made it. Now, I've had bad travel experiences myself, but suffice to say, nothing like that. Hopefully that applies to you too, but we still want to hear your worst. And that's what today's question is. What is your travel story from hell?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
Luxury rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but tell us, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,875. A large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Stephen Throwhill, every week you bring us 3 stories from the news. I don't know how you find people doing bad things, but somehow you do.
Yeah. It is tough to do.
Yeah, and then you pit those 3 stories against each other. It is up to us to determine out of the 3 which one sucks the least. How brutal is this week's Who Sucks Less?
I don't know if brutal is the right word, but you probably won't leave happy. You know, I mean, look, sometimes you don't want to go to work. I understand that. Right? Maybe just call in sick. Well, someone else found another way to take care of that. If you've ever wanted to make a 9-year-old girl cry, Mike and I agree. We found the perfect. I mean,
somebody made a 9-year-old. Was it their child?
No, it was not their child. Another entity got involved in something they didn't have to be a part of, and basically broke the heart of a 9-year-old girl. It's so effed up, I almost chuckled. Except it really is messed up.
I think I know that story.
And then anything to do with a goat?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, man. Yep. So that's there. Yeah, the sad story of a goat and a 9-year-old. So it's not funny.
I don't think they found the goat.
They did.
Did they?
Yes, just not in the condition.
Oh, all right.
Yes. I like the way you set that up, because often I think, what is the best way to make children cry?
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. And listen, if you, like Ted, have that kind of a question on your mind, I promise you, Who Sucks Less will deliver.
What else do we have for you today? Oh, we have Greta Van Fleet tickets as they are coming to town. Climate Pledge Arena Friday, August the 4th. We will give you the secret word. They said every day, pick a time, and then we'll give you the secret word. So today's time is going to be 4:20.
Ooh, that's original.
At 4:20. We're going to give you the secret word and your chance to win tickets to Greta Van Fleet. All you have to do is text that word to 206-803-ROCK. There's even more than that. More Men's Room every Monday through Friday at 6 as we head on over exclusively to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour at episode number 369. The exciting return today of Ask the Men's Room. By the way, the Men's Room page is where you want to be as far as all things Men's Room are concerned on the Odyssey app. That includes the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind that's explicit and labeled that way for a reason based on the language we use and oftentimes the content as well. All the podcasts are there. Ted, I know you cut a brand new Megacast today with Miggs.
Correct.
That is up there as well, along with the Greatest Story Never Told podcast.
Correct.
We have our Greatest Hits of the Week podcast, the Best of the Men's Room, which is a shortened down version of some of the better moments of the week. And of course, the daily podcast is there as well. Do yourself a favor and sign into the Odyssey app whenever you do that for a chance to win tickets to whatever the hell they're giving away on the app. I haven't checked in a while, but every hour you get entered to win
sign up. Yeah, go listen. Win
Shinedown tickets this week.
Is that what it is, Shinedown? Yeah. Are they coming to town?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they'll come into every time that they've come into town, the last 4 or 5 times, it's been on a Saturday or like a Sunday night. Mm-hmm. So we have not had those guys in here probably in 5 or 6 years. And they were one of the first bands, I believe, that we ever got a chance to interview in studio when we got to KISW.
And they've been cool to us ever since. But I will say
they don't even have the same members. That's how long ago.
No, they got 2 of the original members.
But the lead singer gets very nervous before he joins us on the show. Now, I understand he enjoys his time with us, but he's a little more intense, and he's always worried that we're just going to ambush him and embarrass him, which is very possible. But every time we've interviewed him, he makes it a point to let me know. I make them put your show on in the car so I can get a sense of where your guys' heads are at.
Sure.
So the last time he came in, I remember I was taking a leak. He came bursting into the bathroom and just goes, "Ooh, man, you guys are on fire. Should I be scared?" And I said, well, now that you say that, yeah. I wasn't thinking that, but now that you brought it up.
We did.
Zach's always cool.
Yeah,
always.
We did talk to him for the 50th anniversary celebration a few years back. We did that through Zoom, obviously, based on the fact that COVID was going on. What was the lyric you threw at him? I am the chicken and you're stuck in your teeth or something.
Right. I'm the chicken in your teeth.
Says it one song.
Because he's doing all the whispering.
Yeah, exactly. Can we change that
How is
up?
that so weird?
I know that's the one that got him.
Just do it one time.
See if anyone notices.
Who the hell's going to know? That's exactly right.
In your teeth.
Right. So we'll give you the secret word for tickets to Greta Van Fleet coming up at 4:20 with the secret word.
That's how I should describe my dating life. It's not the best, but I'm kind of like that chicken in your teeth. I just got to stick around.
I think you're the spinach in their teeth. You don't really, because that one you don't know is there.
Right,
That
right,
chicken
right.
bothers you. That awkward piece of spinach
You're
is
right.
stuck there.
Someone has to
You're
tell you.
still with Ted?
You don't know him. It's there.
She didn't even know. I just showed up at this restaurant where I knew she'd be.
I am the spinach in your teeth. All right, today we're going to talk about travel and travel stories from hell. We would love to play you the video or of the audio of what went down on the Southwest flight, but to be perfectly honest with you, I watched 2.5 minutes of it today in the office. There is absolutely no way that we can edit out this guy's favorite word.
Because you wouldn't hear anything.
Because it's every single other word out of his mouth.
Hey, I did highlight some of the highlights for you that you could repeat on his behalf, but he is relentless.
Yeah, this comes from TMZ and some other outlets. Southwest freakout. Man goes berserk over screaming baby. F you and shut up. Passengers on a Southwest flight were annoyed by constant screams on board.
F you to a baby.
Not just from a baby.
I know, man.
F you.
These were from a grown-ass adult.
Yeah.
Throwing a tantrum over a screaming child, swearing up a storm as they were stuck in the air. He says lots of wild stuff in the clip, screaming at the top of his lungs, asking if the baby paid more for crying privileges. The flight attendant tries pointing out he's yelling in the cabin. The man responds, so is the baby. The attendant hits him back with, but you're a man. It doesn't end once the flight lands, by the way, because he was greeted by cops at the airport and seemingly escorted out of the airport at the time. Now, the child is crying on the flight. During the tirade directed at the parents of the shrieking child and flight staff, the rowdy passenger said, there's a child crying on the flight. Non-effing stop. Calm the child down, please. I'm not screaming. Do you want me to scream? I'll effing scream. We're in an effing tin can with a baby in a goddamn echo chamber, and you want to talk to me about being effing okay? Okay, because you're yelling. The Southwest worker tells the person to try to calm the situation down.
They're just like, are you okay?
Making sure you're okay because you're yelling. So is the baby. The man screams back. Did that mother effer pay extra to yell? F you. Shut up. Can you lower that voice, sir? I don't give an F. He continues. F. Lower that baby's voice. I'm triggered. F that baby. I know an attorney just like your mother effer. I got rights. I know an attorney. If I haven't had said anything, we would be sitting on this mother effing flight with a kid crying for 45 minutes. This is BS. And he continues and goes on and on.
Also, F you to a baby.
And when you watch the video, too, you can see I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, she just looks mortified.
She has to be.
Yeah.
Like, look, man, we were talking about this earlier. Nobody enjoys listening to him cry baby. But I promise you this. No one enjoys it less than the parents. And trust, if the parents could shut the kid up, they would. And we're saying the one thing about a crying baby on a plane, and this includes the parents, everyone is thinking the same thing. Shut the F up. And I'm telling you, parents, they telepathically try to send this to the kid. Shut the F up. But then they don't, and you have to deal with it.
And I get why he's frustrated. Forget the baby part. Because weren't they circling for 45 minutes?
That's what it was. They were in a holding pattern around Palm Beach due to bad weather. So I want to say for about 45 minutes before the plane landed in Orlando, the kid was crying. My question is this, and I know it's headed to Orlando, but ultimately, if this is an East Coast flight and it's headed to Orlando, depending on the origin, it's not going to be much more than a 2-hour flight.
No, I mean, that's
correct. If this thing came in from Denver or came in from somewhere else, it would be different. Even if you flew from Dallas to Florida,
it doesn't take long.
It does not take that long. So an extra 45 minutes, yes, you might not be used to that in the air. Well, the screaming baby for 45 minutes, but either way, we've all been on a plane with a baby going off. I mean,
and you're not alone, man. Like I said, everyone on that flight wants that kid to shut the hell up. But, kids are kids. And like we were saying earlier, wouldn't it be cool if one day, as adults, we could act like kids? So, You're on a plane, you're distressed about something, so you decide for an hour and a half, as an adult, just to scream and cry. I mean, just be inconsolable. It doesn't matter who comes by. It doesn't matter what they offer you. You just cry.
What if you had in your backpack, right? Mm-hmm. You had a small plastic bowl.
All right.
and then you filled that bowl up. You didn't tell the person beside you that it was Act Like a Kid Day, right? So you fill that bowl up with either some plain or original Cheerios.
Cheerios,
that you have in a
just plain.
Ziploc bag. Possibly some Goldfish. Mm-hmm. That is another staple. And then you pull out like a Juicy Juice or, a Capri Sun or whatever the modern...
maybe a Chewy bar?
A Chewy bar.
Chewy bar.
Or a fruit roll-up, string cheese. All of the things that maybe like a Lunchable. I'm just trying to think how I would, what I would eat.
I'm an adult, but it's Act Like a Kid Day. I think I would break out Crayola crayons and just draw really stupid pictures. But my saving grace would be this, because it's Act Like a Kid Day. All right, but they don't know that. I'd look at the person next to me and say, "Hey, man, I just pooped my pants, and now somehow you have to take care of this."
Right. Or
even though I did it, this is now your problem. Yes, I have defecated myself, but could you please pick me up? Take me into the bathroom and change me. Nothing weird's going to happen. No. I just need you to change my pants because I poop.
When the attendant comes by with a beverage, you pour it into a sippy cup, screw the lid on, and just drink it out of that while reading like Dr. Seuss. There's got to be a number of ways you could really freak out the people beside.
You know what you could do? I think the ultimate, whoever the strangest looking person is on the plane, stare at them for the entire flight. Because kids can get away with that. But if I do it as an adult, it's a problem.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm staring at you just the whole flight, no matter what you do.
Or if you have a nice hardback book and you have a good color printer at work, just change the outside, the cover, like how to live with a huge penis,
right?
Or something like that. Just sit there and read it the entire time. Just to check.
I think you know what I would do if I could if it's Act Like a Kid Day. I want to sit on the plane and when they bring around whatever food, I'm going to take a bite. Not only am I going to spit the food out and show I don't like it, but I'm going to take the boxer plate and throw it. I'm just going to throw it because I just want you to know I don't like it.
What if you had cut up hot dogs? I mean, there's so many things that you could do to really just like the person beside you just looking like, what in the hell is going on here?
I'd kick the back of the seat of the person in front of me. Yeah. Hey, man, it's Act Like a Kid Day. Sorry.
I would yell from help from the bathroom.
I can't get my zipper out. Come on, my butt.
So he's got a white thing.
Mom, I'm my butt.
Or I just like to get out of a shower and just stand there. wait for somebody to come along and I guess dry me off.
Dry off.
Yeah, just walk out in public naked.
Right? Well, nobody dried me off today.
Yeah. This goes up past our last Thanksgiving.
I get arrested promptly, Mike. No, you have the correct reaction.
It's Act Like a Kid Day. Right. I'm just doing what kids. When we walk into a store, I'm going to sing at the top of my lungs and just run down the aisle. For no reason.
And also, if somebody annoys me, I'm going to kick them in the shin.
You're right. Straight to the shin.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to stare at them while they're annoying me and then kick them.
A cruise ship passenger manages to survive 15 hours at sea after falling overboard. This past Thanksgiving weekend in the United States. The unnamed 28-year-old man, he'd been on a Carnival Cruise Line vessel sailing in the Gulf of Mexico when the incident occurred.
Someone just gave a good suggestion for me personally on Act Like a Kid Day. Says Thurl, point at a guy and scream, "Why is that man white?" Ew.
The alarm was raised by his sister when he failed to return to the bar after going to the bathroom.
That's a good call.
A full-scale search of the ship commenced with a photo of the man shown to guests. At around 2 o'clock on Thursday, the search was abandoned. It was clear the man was no longer on the ship. So the cruise liner, which had been due to sail to the Mexican island of Cozumel, retraced its steps, while the Coast Guard and all ships within a 300-kilometer area, they were called in to look for the guy.
300 kilometers.
Yep. And what Carnival dubbed a Thanksgiving miracle, the man was spotted 30 kilometers off the coast of Southwest Pass, a channel at the mouth of the Mississippi River that's a little bit southeast of Louisiana. A cargo carrier first identified the man before alerting the Coast Guard, which used a helicopter to winch him out of the sea 15 hours after he had fallen in because he went to the bathroom, and Lord knows what happened after that.
15 hours.
He was able to identify his name, confirmed that he was the individual that fell overboard.
Who the hell else did they think he was?
He was showing signs of hypothermia. Someone out taking a swim 30 kilometers off the coast.
Do you leave him out there if he's not the guy? No, my name's not Bob.
I'm just swimming.
We'd love to help you.
Swimming all the way down to Mexico.
How do you fall overboard if all you did was go to the bathroom?
Well, that was it. He and his sister were at a bar. The last thing he said was, "I'm going to the bathroom." He never came back. So his sister started passing around pictures of him. Have you seen this guy?
They drained the pool. Think about that.
Yeah, they thought he drowned.
Yeah. What kind of goddamn pool do they have that you can't look into the pool and see if you know what I mean? I'm like, wait, you had to drain the pool?
Oh, that tells me the water's pretty cloudy.
Right. Like, you can look in a pool and see if there's a body in it, man. Mm-hmm. I don't understand.
Maybe they just assumed he was in the pool, so they drained it anyhow?
I guess.
Yeah, I did see a whole thing on never buy a light blue swimsuit because that's not good if you're at the bottom.
Are they being for real?
Yeah, because most pools have a light blue bottom. Well, so, like, if a woman wears a full-piece blue bathing suit, that's the worst color that you can wear in a pool because you're harder to see if you are on the bottom of the pool.
Jesus.
It's like,
dude, I got it.
It's like camo.
I was going to say, like, I wore them to paint in the grass, but that pair of chubbies I have, those things are so loud. Like there's Ted in the pool.
He's in the bottom.
Bad news is I think he drowned, but there he is.
Our question, what is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Let's continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Stop one on the Men's Room World Tour happens this Saturday from 3 until 6. Muckleshoot Casino, absolutely free. Join us for Men's Room Original Ale, Men's Room Sausage from Uli's World Famous Sausage, and Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from the San Juan Salsa Company. By the way, the fine folks at the Advocates have made sure the first 99 people who show up who want a sausage, they're going to pay for that for it.
Ted keeps insisting it's going to be the first 95.
Yeah, it's going to be a sausage party.
The four of us want a sausage.
That is correct.
It's a free sausage party. Dead Rebel Saints are also going to play. So the first stop on the World Tour is this Saturday from 3 until 6. We've had many questions about this, like, what other stops do you have on the tour? What is your second stop on the tour? We don't know that yet.
We don't know. We had one guy, was it Munich specifically, but somebody in Germany who listens in Germany. Was it Frankfurt?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, and he was being serious, like, do you guys plan on stopping here? Well, it wasn't really on the agenda, but I will tell you what, I will do what I can to get the bosses to fly us to Frankfurt and do a meet and greet there.
No, if you have any suggestions.
I had to read over that twice. Because I was like, is he talking about, like, Frankfurt in the country? Like, no, he's talking about Germany.
Frankfurt, Germany, yes.
If you have any suggestions on where you would like to stop on this tour, again, we have not really planned this thing out. It's kind of just a one step at a time thing. So, but our first stop is this Saturday, Muckleshoot Casino, 3 till 6. Again, it's absolutely free. We'll have live music. We'll have all the stuff. We're just going to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, that's it.
That's basically what's going down. But
it's
what we do best.
If you have an idea where you'd like us to see, like, email, right? Like, just send us a message or whatever, but, like, let's try to get out there. Looking at you, North End.
Right, yeah.
It's all on the table.
We don't make plans far away in advance. You know what I mean? We're not your wife. We're going to take this one. Right. There's a reason that a lot of heterosexual men aren't wedding planners. Mm-hmm. We'll get into it when we get to it. What? Do you know him?
No, I just... You got me on that one.
Yes, it's true.
That's right.
We're not good at planning stuff.
Because if we planned your wedding, we'd be like, all right, what day do you want to get married? Just say, like, December 18th. We'd say, okay, let's meet December 15th. Right? That's the best we're going to do. Mm-hmm. 3 days of planning. We'll knock it out of the park. It'll be a good time.
What do we tell you? 2 weeks in advance on this one? That's plenty of time to remember for a guy. Like, you know,
that's it.
Anybody in their brain. Like, all right.
My brother claims I planned one of the best bachelor parties of all time for him. You know what we did?
What?
We went to a Maryland football game. I left early. By the time they got home, there was a keg of beer, a 6-foot sub, and 2 strippers.
Oh, wow. That's all you need.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to put that together?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
If that.
Remember Seattle Rock Day?
Part was getting the 6-foot sub.
We put Seattle Rock Day together in like an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. By the way, the Galaxy Room apparently at the Muckleshoot Casino is fantastic. So that's the room we're taking over. We do have live music. I know, Ted, you said there's a lot of sports on that day, too.
There's a lot of stuff
early,
going
stay
on.
Late. I mean, you can just watch some sports, hang out.
Yeah, I was going to say, right? It's a casino, so you can watch sports because you're going to have a playoff game for your Seattle Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle Sounders FC, they're playing at 7:30. The Mariners are in town at 6:40. Like, look, if you don't have tickets to that game, good day to stay out of Seattle. Go down to the
Muckleshoot.
Kidding, man. And we're going to go till 6, but stay as long as you want. Have a good time. Stand there,
sure.
Gamble and hang out. And again, it's a free sausage party at the first ever stop on the Men's Room
it is.
World Tour. So good times on that. Our question, what is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
We got a couple of texts here. The first two regard our idea of having Act Like a Kid Day. So it's like a holiday for adults, but you get to do what kids get away with. So 2 more suggestions. One says, stand in front of the urinal and let your pants fall to your ankles. Always a good move.
Okay.
Kids can do that. You don't give it a second thought. If you do that as an adult, I walk out of the bathroom. And then this one. Wipe your boogers on the armrest next to you and act like a kid.
Okay, all right. What was your favorite food as a child? Do you remember, like, I know for a fact that my daughter's alive right now because of chicken strips, chicken nuggets, and French fries.
But we didn't really have all that growing up.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Probably like Frosted Flakes. I mean, that was my go-to cereal. I could eat it anytime I wanted to. I could get it myself.
I did beans and weenies.
Really?
Yeah, a can of beans and then cut up hot dogs.
Did you make your own or did you put your parents through?
No, I mean,
okay,
I could open a
own.
can, I could put it on the pot, I could cut up the weenies and put it in there and stir it all up. That was basically all it was. It was like an egg sandwich. It was one of the basic things that I first learned to make,
okay.
Make a fried egg.
Yeah. I would say pizza bagels.
Okay.
Or like the Mama Celeste. Like we had just gotten a microwave and that
cheapest ass pizza,
Yeah, like as a kid, man, I just love those things.
I did too. And so when you went somewhere like Pizza Hut, you were like, wow. I mean, that's gourmet at that point.
Macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, let's go to.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
That brown tin that just said chips.
Yeah, it didn't matter what was in there.
That was Charles Chips.
Well, it was Charles Chips. All right, you're right.
Internet name.
Hello, Fast. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hola.
So for me, it was this was 20, almost 30 years ago at this point. I was visiting, going to go with a buddy to Arches in Utah. I was living on the East Coast. I stayed at a hotel the night before my flight went out and got food poisoning from an undercooked burger. So I spent the entire flight across country and in the airport, it was coming out of both ends.
Now, were people on the flight aware that something was wrong with you, like you had to keep making trips to the bathroom?
I actually begged to switch seats right behind right in front of the bathroom with a guy, and he was more than happy to let me go because I was not quiet in that bathroom.
Oh no!
So it made it a lot easier for me.
Did you get looks at? So if you're making all the sound and fury every time you're rocking the toilet, when you step out, did you avoid eye contact, or could you see people looking at you?
I didn't care at that point. I was about as green as the grass the entire time. I didn't care what people thought of me at that point.
Were you sitting next to someone on the flight?
Yeah. They were very engrossed in their book.
I bet they were.
Yeah. Focus.
I'll tell you what, one of the worst flight experiences that I've ever had, and I didn't realize all the mistakes that I had made, but I always like a window seat for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And
because you're 36,000 feet up in the air.
Well, I'm on a red eye at this point, so it's not like I can see anything. It's like going to canvas in the winter. You know, it's all
you look at your own reflection.
Look at the view. But I still like to be able to sleep in the window. So I put the pillow in there. It gives me a little extra room. I feel like I can lean into it, all that. So I take that. I take the very last seat that is right, the row that backs up to the toilet.
Yeah.
To the bathroom. First of all, those seats don't recline.
They do not.
Number one, I was not aware of that. Number two is I did not realize how bad and how much you could smell everyone who was in the bathroom the entire flight. I don't know if there was some type of an air leak in there. I don't know if it was just coming through a seam. I'm not sure what the deal was, but it was all night long. And all I could do was I was just waiting patiently for the person to finish so I could see
who it was,
who made that smell. So that was the game that I was playing the entire flight. 'Cause it's like, oh, and it wasn't farts. It was straight poop. Yeah, because I was the only person in that row. So I could lay down, I could lean. I had a room by the time it was all said and done, but I was like, this is the worst seat in the world. I had nobody beside me. I was like, this is the worst seat I could ever put in.
See, and I pick that seat all the time.
Really?
Yeah, because if it's a longer flight, like I'm going to have some beers.
You just want to be close to the bathroom.
I want to be close. Well, I want to sit on the edge, right? I don't want to have to keep walking up and down the aisle. And then, like, if it's a red eye, if I think I'm going to sleep, I might go window. But I like being on the outside, especially, too, because, like, people are up by the bathroom.
Sure.
So I don't feel like the a-hole on the flight that's got his light on because he's reading.
Oh, right, well, not only that, but it was an Alaskan airline flight. So, of course, when you do sit in that, you get served the last.
Yeah.
The tray comes by, and then it goes into the back. So, of course, I want the cheese plate.
Oh, no chance, dude.
No, it's sold out.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you get free drinks.
By the time you get to me, I didn't get free drinks.
All you have to do is go back at the one thing, if you're seated back there, you got to deal with the smell of everyone's ass. You are 100% correct. But the flight attendants are usually back there, and either they're just talking or they're reading something.
Oh,
whatever.
you can get back there.
But when you if you ask them, like when they're seated back there, I have found that if hey man, can I grab a beer off of you and like a mini Jack? They have no problem doing it, and 50% of the time, they don't bother to charge it.
Right. When they brought the basket around, like all the Biscoff cookies were gone, all the good stuff. It was like a Kind bar, some crap like that.
My daughter snagged 3 of those Biscoff cookies.
Stuff that I don't eat. Oh, they're great.
And she grabbed them.
I have never bought them, and then every time I want to fly them, these are great, I should get these.
They are outstanding.
Do you realize they have a Biscoff butter? It's like a peanut butter.
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Man. Well, the flight attendant looked at my daughter, because she grabbed 3 of them. And my first thought is, don't offer a child an open basket that has snacks. Right? They're going to take as many as you want. So she grabbed 3. Flight attendant kind of looked at her. My daughter looked this woman right in the eye and said, I got one for my brother. what I was so proud of was that she was lying, but did it so convincingly. I knew goddamn well she did not grab that for her brother.
Did you look at her? Shoot her a look?
No, because I kind of liked her lie. Because she said it real smooth, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, you've learned something, right? Yeah. You understand the art of negotiation, because the flight attendant kind of smiled like, oh, isn't that sweet? And I'm like, she's so full of S right now.
Brother should ask for it. Hand it over now.
Oh, hell no.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Troy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this goes all the way back to the early 70s. We were doing a family vacation from Oklahoma to Yellowstone Park. Mom, dad, 5 kids, and a German Shepherd and a Volkswagen bus.
Jesus. How many days of a drive is that?
I really don't remember. I was like 5 years old.
Okay, all right.
But, so we're cruising along. I don't even remember what state we're in, but the dog gets car sick on my lap. Well, I immediately threw up on the back of his head, and so he shakes that off like a wet dog does, and then all my brothers and sisters had the same chain reaction. We were all just throwing up, so we ended up with a rolling puke fest.
All 5 of you threw up?
All 5 of us. And the dog.
And the dog, right?
I bet that's a story your parents tell. This is what it's like raising 5 kids.
Right. And taking the St. Bernard on a
Oh, the St. Bernard?
My God, this is like Vacation.
No, I mean, German Shepherd. I'm sorry.
Either way, it's a big-ass dog. So
it was.
Do your parents pull over to clean up the puke? Do they wait for you to finish puking? What?
We stopped and got a motel that night because the van definitely had to be cleaned out. And we all had to be showered and clothes washed. And it was nasty. It's a memory that just still...
Did you guys have one of those custom vans with the swiveling seats and all that?
No, it was a Volkswagen bus.
Oh, okay, well, that was a ride from hell. I took many long vacations in those. They were terrible.
Yeah, and it was a 2-week vacation. We went all the way to Yellowstone, then over to the coast, then down to San Diego for SeaWorld. It was a 2-week vacation.
Yeah, but look, man, I remember those days. So you have the selective memory of we went to Yellowstone, we went to SeaWorld. But let's face it, the worst part of those trips were all the hours of driving in between.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And trust me, a Volkswagen bus does not make time. They
don't make time.
You're topping out at maybe 55, 60 miles an hour. If you're a kid and you're in the back, the engine's in the back. The engine is not quiet in a Volkswagen at that point in time.
You had room. We used to be in the Grand Area.
There's no air conditioning that ever worked in a Volkswagen in those days.
Okay, so talking to my parents last week, they're just telling me all these stories and the days we traveled, all the dumbass I did as a kid. But my father goes, "Have you ever heard of Texarkana, Arkansas? Texarkana, Arkansas?" I said, "Yeah, I know Texarkana, Arkansas, because I remember Mom getting mad in the Volkswagen bus," and they started laughing. So, to your point, it was a heat wave. We're driving into Texas, and my brother and I are in the back of the van. We liked having it just because we had more room to move around and all this. And you couldn't really, hear my parents bickering, but, I don't know, man, the tension just kind of hits. So something occurred to my brother and I. Okay, the parents are not happy with each other. That's not entirely true. My mother was ready to kill my father. So the whole thing was, I remember it was 106 degrees outside, and the air conditioning had broken down inside
Even
of the
if it was
Volkswagen
working,
bus.
it wouldn't have mattered.
And my mother, I remember these words, and I quoted this to her last week. And she goes, "I can't believe you remember that." And I said, "Because you looked at Dad." And keep in mind, we're driving to Houston, so it's only going to get hotter. But she told him this. "These are your choices," according to her. "You can either get the air conditioning fixed, you can buy me a ticket for a flight home, or we can get divorced." Those were her words to my father. So we stopped in Texarkana, Arkansas, at some kind of mechanic place, and they fixed the air conditioning. I'm like, "Yeah, I remember that place."
Yep.
Because I thought you guys were going to get a divorce because you were hot.
We were kind of lucky. We had a real van.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like one of those cool conversion vans.
That's what I always wanted.
The couch in the back would flatten out to a bed and stuff.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, we only had that till I was 8 or something, though. No. Then the trips got much worse. But in the van, it was spacious. There was plenty of room. Yeah. There was a CB radio.
Really?
Yeah.
My stepfather would throw me a handful of rags in the back. Pop that back. We need to put some water in the radiator. because it was a water-cooled engine, so you lifted up the seat, and I mean, that thing was hot. I mean, it's amazing. You're like, just didn't melt your face, and you're back there with gallons of water pulling it in there so that you could make it over the top of a mountain.
Right, because you're slowing down.
The fan wouldn't explode. Jesus, I hated that car. What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, hola, guys.
Hola.
My travel problem was my dad decided that he was going to take all of us to Cancun, Mexico.
How many is all of you?
My brother and my two stepbrothers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Younger, 80s. We're like 6, 7, 8, and 10. That's right. Then we get to Cancun during their spring break too, so the entire hotel is packed.
That's why your dad went.
Then it started raining, and it continued to rain the entire time we were there. And then we decided, okay, we're going to try to go to dinner. We couldn't do that because the entire streets were flooded.
Mm-hmm.
We were caught in a flood.
Yep.
The entire vacation.
You're in a flood with college students, and you guys were kids?
Yes.
Your father hated you in that moment. I mean, look, if he went by himself, look, if it's me, right? I'm traveling solo. Yes. I'm in a hotel in Cancun, Mexico with a bunch of freaking co-eds that are getting stupid. Oh, I can't go anywhere because it's flooded. I'm going to the bar and I'm having a great time. But if I have 4 or 5 little kids, I mean, you truly ruin that for them.
No. I did a vacation in Mexico one time, and the same exact thing happened. I was with my kids. It flooded. The streets had 2 feet of water on them. Exactly. At the highest point. By the time day 3 got around, there was about a foot. And then eventually, when we left, the streets were just down.
How old were your kids?
They were 13 and 14, maybe.
Okay, you can at least leave them somewhere.
But you got to remember, you're still walking to restaurants in a foot and a half of water through the streets of town, and the smell's not good, and you know you're in dysentery.
Oh yeah,
you know the sewers are backing up, all these different things, and you're just like walking to a restaurant, like, all right, well, most of the restaurants were elevated, they had steps going in, and a lot of the places were on stilts.
The restaurants,
in that area,
but you still got to get to it.
Yeah, but all the hotel, like as far as the hotel went, everybody who was staying on the ground level, they had to be they had to be relocated. So a lot of those people were either put in other hotels, or they were put in the rooms that were upstairs where we were staying.
Where were you in Mexico?
Hobach. Which is the most northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, when it rained, I was like, man, this is rain. We were coming in on a ferry, and I was like, this is going to be horrible.
I've been to Mazatlan, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 times, right? And I've seen it rain, but nothing torrential. But when we first got there, I couldn't figure out why, like, every sidewalk is almost a foot and a half off the ground, man. And my wife and I are finally like, what is it with your sidewalks, man? It's just so weird. And they're like, listen, man, when it rains here, it rains. Like, it floods all the time. So they just elevate the sidewalks so that they, as they say, like, as the carcasses and poop goes by, it doesn't necessarily end up, don't worry, not human carcasses, Ted. Just random dead animals.
I'm just thinking about drinking a lot of tequila and stepping off that sidewalk without paying attention.
It's happened.
Yeah.
It has happened. And it's happened to me maybe twice. I'm a little smarter about it now, but especially tourists, you see them eat it all the time. Once a night hits and you know they've been drinking a bit, like, we just like to sit on a bench and quote unquote people watch. And by people watch, we mean it's like America's Funniest Home Videos. Right. You can guarantee 25% of the people are going to fall off of the goddamn curb.
Meantime, while you're on the ground, a family of 6 goes by on a 50cc scooter doing just fine.
All 6, yeah.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey y'all, it's Garth. I love the country music family. I love the country music family of artists and the country music family of songs. Some of the greatest artists to ever grace music are under the flag of country music. And some of the greatest songs in music history are under the flag of country music. The Big 615, you're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. And I think the country music family is one of those families that is very inclusive and wants both the established artists and the new artists to be side by side in this thing we call country music.
Download the TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. And by the way, yes, it's free. You can also ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mongo. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Oh.
Hola.
Okay, a couple of years ago, I've been working away from home for 6 weeks. The morning I'm going home, I leave the hotel at 7 to catch the 10 o'clock flight. I had 2 connectors, but I was going to be home by 7 p.m. Well, I get stopped by TSA and found explosives residue on my computer. While they were going through my bag, I got the full and complete pat down. After about 45 minutes, they determined that their detector was not calibrated. Said I could go. I was the last person to get on my plane, and just then, a big old storm just stalled over the Houston airport. So after sitting there for an hour, I forced my connector. I waited till 6 p.m. for the next plane. That was delayed. I get to the next airport at about 2 a.m. My plane the next morning gets delayed. Instead of getting home at 7 p.m., I got home at 11 a.m. the next day.
That's a long, long travel day.
That is, how long did TSA detain you?
About 40 minutes.
Okay, that's not as bad as it could be, I guess. Especially for explosive residue.
That is a little strange.
That's the thing they kind of swab you for now, right?
On your hand.
Yeah. On your hand. And I didn't know. And this lady came up and, sir, just randomly, can I swab your hand? I said, sure. Why? She said, it's just something we do. I said, no, I understand that. I'm asking what you're doing. So she said, well, we're swabbing your hand for bomb-making materials. I was like, thank God, because I thought it was going to be drugs. Well, the people in line thought that was funny. She did not. Don't crack jokes at the airport, I discovered.
Dude, it happened to me in Miami.
Bomb-making material?
No, same drug joke.
What was yours?
Like, I was going through security, had been down there for a wedding. We'd already had a mimosa or two that morning. You have any drugs on you? And I went, nah, man, we smoked it all.
All right.
Straight to, like, a separate room.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was there early enough, so I still made my flight, but they were pissed. And they were like, do not make the, and I was like, you're right. You're absolutely, I was like,
Rod Strickland?
So sorry.
Who dropped that? Was it Rod Strickland when he played for the Trailblazers? Cop pulled him over.
Was it Strickland?
Oh, somebody.
Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, one of those two guys. Like, yeah, you guys got any weed? No, man. We smoked it all.
They said we smoked all that S.
Yeah, right.
Right, it's Miami Airport, so I wouldn't dare try to bring any illegal drugs there, right? It's like one of the most famous airports for illegal drugs. But I just thought it was funny. They did not.
Did you think to ask, though? Like, okay, I'm in a separate room. Okay, I won't crack the jokes, but if I'm telling the truth and I smoked everything I had, like, is that a problem? Because I'm not bringing it on the plane, right? Like, I'm high. All the drugs are in me doing their thing, but, like, I would never think to smuggle them on a plane. That's why I got really, really high before I got here. Like, that's got to be okay, right?
My maneuver was when that...
I don't know. I've always wondered that with cops, right? Let's say you did, like, an illegal drug, and it's like you don't have any on you. But
I had none on.
And you're not driving. You're just walking down the street. Like, can you get in trouble? Could they just look at your eyes and be like, you're on something?
Of course I'm on something, but does it matter? I have nothing on me. It's all in me.
Well, I told you, man, I had a shoe that was full of seeds that I brought back from Jamaica. I was like, I'm not going to try to smuggle back the weed. I'm just going to try to because there was a lot of seeds in this bud I got. I'm thinking to myself, this is a great weed. Maybe that was my inspiration to buy the Phototron.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I knew I had these great seeds. So I have the Phototron. It's already set up. It's not on at that point because I didn't have any seeds. or the ones that I wanted to plant anyway. So I knew I was going on this trip. I bring all these seeds back. I'm in customs, and this beagle, he's sniffing around everywhere. And I get down on my knees. I'm like, come here, buddy. And I start rubbing his head, but the guy's looking the other way. And when he turns around, he goes, don't pet the dog. I'm like, oh, no, I love beagles. He's like, no, don't pet the dog. I'm like, oh, you're an officer. My bad. Sorry, man. And he's like, and he pulled the beagle away from me real quick. Like, yeah, get away from my dog. And I'm like, yeah.
I think it's a brilliant plan.
Yeah.
I always keep that in mind. Like, all right, this little mofo starts sniffing around me. I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, my idea was this. If I drop to my knees, my shoes will be behind me.
Sure.
So if I keep standing up, then my feet are going to be in front of me, and he's going to be able to come up and smell my shoes. So the first thing I did was drop to my knees, so that I was kind of sitting on my feet, like, come here, buddy. Started rubbing his head. Turned on, don't touch the dog. Oh, no, it's okay. I love beagles. No, don't touch the dog.
Oh, my bad.
It's a drug dog. He pulls him away and starts walking somewhere else. I'm like, yes.
They're real serious about don't touch the dog. Sometimes it's just hard because they're cute.
They're dogs.
Yeah. And they would use beagles. Yeah. There was a lady, we're coming back from Mexico, little old lady just chatting me and the wife up. We're in customs waiting for our bags. And she's one of those ladies. She even talked like this. I mean, she's just that kind of person. I used to be a school teacher. She's nice enough, generally boring conversation, but whatever. There's nothing else to do. We're waiting on the bags. And they come by with this beagle, and this thing just keys on her, man. I mean, just staring her down. Like 3 TSA agents come over, and me and the wife are like, man, she seems like a sweet old lady. Maybe she's a drug mule. Maybe she's an unwitting drug mule, but they open up her bag, and they're ripping through this stuff. They're real serious. And you can see she's getting nervous. She's like, I don't know. Ma'am, we have to ask you to stop talking. Oh, my goodness, I just don't. You know what it was? It was a goddamn ham sandwich.
Oh, really?
It was a ham sandwich. So this trained dog looking for either explosives, drugs, whatever his deal is, yeah, he really wants a ham sandwich. Mm-hmm. Like, basically, he threw off all of his duties because, like, oh, no, I smell food. So they pulled out the ham sandwich. So TSA, they almost looked disappointed, you know, because they wanted something cool, something juicy, something to go home and brag about to the spouse or whatever. And it's like, now it's a ham sandwich. And then this poor woman, she's like, I didn't even want it. My kids made me take it so I wouldn't get hungry.
She's shook.
I'm like, you almost, oh, dude, she was terrified. I'm just kind of smiling like, hey, man, it could be worse.
Right. I had a layover in the Detroit airport, but at this point, I think what I did was I went outside and smoked a cigarette. Mm-hmm. And came back in. And when I came back in and I was going through just the TSA and the security, there was a beagle there with a handler. Now, I don't know what that beagle was there for, and I did not have anything on me. But at the time, I had 2 beagles.
Right.
So my shoes, my clothes, and this beagle was pulling. And so the guy's like, all right, buddy. So he's like, you need to stop, and the beagle's going to smell you. This beagle, I mean, all up and down my legs, my bag, everything. And I'm like, yeah, man, I said, it's no big deal, man. I got 2 beagles. He's like, oh, you have 2 beagles. And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, she's just smelling the beagles on you. And I was like, well, what is she for? And he told me what it was. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't have that.
Like, I don't have that.
But I do have 2 beagles, so.
By the way, on that note, quick shout out to the, it wouldn't be TSA, but I guess SeaTac Security, whatever the deal is. We got in Saturday night, and I just want to smoke a cigarette. But SeaTac has moved the smoking section like 800,000 feet. God, right? So we're at baggage claim 5. I know that the smoke area is way, way, way down. So I looked at my wife, said, I'm not doing that. I'm going right up front and smoking, right? So I did, and they have no smoking signs posted everywhere. And even if you're illiterate, you know what they are because they have the slash through the cigarette. So what I realized was you light the cigarette and just keep walking back and forth. So you're not like in any one area. Dude comes up to me and says, oh, hey, man, it's a no smoking section. I said, oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't realize it. Then he looks at me and he goes, are you thrilled? I go, yeah. He goes, man, you know you can't smoke. I said, I do. So he said, look. Just take 3 more puffs, walk away from me, act like we didn't notice. So, good looking out. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, because I tried to play it up. He's like, man, I know who you are. I know goddamn well you know you can't smoke here. I'm like, all right, I know, but I just
why'd you move it all the way down?
Yeah.
It's also weird when you travel, right? Like for instance, like in June, I'm going to go see my nephew graduate or whatever. But, like, Dulles is in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can't smoke in bars and restaurants and stuff, but like just the front doors, like there's just smoking sections outside of every door.
That's all we ask. Mm-hmm. That's all we ask. Like, can I just walk outside and smoke? Can I just do that?
And there's still a lot of airports that still do have smoking rooms. And they work, and even when you walk by them, you cannot smell the smoke.
Until you go in.
Vegas has got one. There's a handful of air. The one that pisses me off the most is Hartfield. They took him out, and I mean, that's the heart.
Is that Atlanta?
Yeah. And in Charlotte International Airport. Basically, all they do there, they don't even breathe there. They just breathe in cigarettes.
Right. They just produce.
Why the hell don't you have a goddamn smoking suit? You know, just a room.
Jack Daniels is in a dry county.
You know, like, you can produce Jack Daniels, but you can't drink it here. What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
I will say, South Carolina's wild, too. Because I was down there when it was kind of still pandemic time.
Yeah.
And, like, I walked into a beach bar with a mask on. Everybody looked at me like I was the worst person in the world.
Of course.
And then, like, later in the day, my other buddy had flown in from, forget where he was from, but we're sitting outside the bar, and he's smoking a cigarette. And they have a deck, but we're, like, out front, and it's kind of raining. And the bartender comes out, and she's like, what are y'all two doing in the rain? We're like, well, he's smoking a cigarette. She's like, well, smoke it on the deck. Damn. But, you know, like, I'm so used to see it. Like, you wouldn't dare just light up a cigarette on a deck here. Like, you're going to get yelled at.
Right. Dumb old Yankee.
Oh, yeah, they were.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK. Hello, Ethan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So a few years ago, before we moved over to Montana, we were visiting, kind of trying to figure out where we wanted to move, and we were up visiting one of the hot springs. And they had these, like, off-road go-karts for rent. So, you know, being, you know, family of four, you know, it's like the perfect thing to do, right? You know, to take all the mountain roads and whatnot out to an old bar. So we're going and going, but before we leave, we asked, has anyone managed to flip these or run them off the road? And they said no. That's the important part. So, you know, me and my dad, being two men with very little brain capacity, we're drifting them back on the way back. And, you know, we're taking them faster than they should have go. And there was one corner we hit. It was a little bit too loose of gravel. And we flipped it over the mountain, flipped onto its side, dragged us down the mountain quite a ways. And then we're stuck up there as the storms start rolling in. So that was pretty fun.
How were you guys stuck in the storm?
Yeah, while we were waiting for the guys to come tow us out of there, we were, you know, we could see it rolling in, you know, all the lightning cracks, the rain, the wind, everything.
How long were you guys stuck out there after you flipped it and got dragged down the mountain?
I'd say we were up a solid 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh, Jesus, man.
We ended up our saving grace ended up being a bunch of rednecks in a General Lee Polaris. They had to, you know, customize the Confederate flag, the Dixie horn and all that, you know, good
Dixie
stuff.
Dixie horn.
Yep, you'd hear them coming up the mountain. They gave us a tarp and whatnot, so, you know, we wouldn't, like, freeze to death or, you know, hypothermia or whatnot. Super cool guys.
I like that it was a Polaris.
Yep.
Now, what do you think the situation would have been if I were with you?
I'm assuming you guys are white.
Yep, incredibly white.
Oh, it is Montana.
It's hard to say. It is Montana.
Okay, good times. Yeah,
I was in Montana last summer.
What'd you think?
I saw one black person.
What?
I'm dead serious.
What? What do you mean, like in a bar or what?
Yeah. So I'm saying, they were in Montana. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, literally, I think I saw one black person the whole time.
Where were you when, was it Idaho or something, where you were trying to find your buddy at a crowded bar?
Boise.
Okay, Nita said.
It's a friend of Miles and I.
Said, I'm next to the black guy.
Right. His wife is from Boise.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
so her sister, who's also from Boise, married a black dude. So it's game day, right? Boise State's playing. The town is packed. So he's like, you can find me in this bar. And I'm like, Chandler, like, this line, it's taking forever. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Shoulder to shoulder, you know, I'm not going to find you. And he goes, I'm next to the black guy. And I laughed it all. And then we walked in. I looked around the room and I went, son of a bitch, there he is.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Thurl, you know me, I didn't miss a beat. Like, because I didn't know their relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, we barely 2 sips of beer, and I just went, brother, what are you doing in Idaho? And he's like, I'm married into the family. I'm like, all right.
There had to be a reason, like a definitive reason why you're here.
Yeah, it just did, right? I was like, damn, this town is so white.
I'm the mayor. Hello, Diane. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
So, I'm driving in a rainstorm at the moment, but I am originally from Detroit. I've called you guys before. My family took a road trip every year to drive back, and my parents, so we would take like a three-week road trip. We would drive back there. Well, we moved here in 81. In 84, before, we drove back in April because my sister was getting married, and the first night we stopped. My dad says, well, let's just stop in Coeur d'Alene and spend the night. So we stop in Coeur d'Alene, and it's dark out already, and my dad is just like, oh, we're just going to find a hotel, never book anything ahead of time. So we pull into this hotel, and he books 2 rooms because there was 2 cars of us. There was 8 of us. So he pulls in, he says, oh, well, your mom and I and your younger brother and sister are staying here. You 4 girls are staying in this other room. Well, I go in the room, and I'm like, Dad, this isn't even a hotel room. And he's like, well, it's okay. They said that they rented out the hotel. In the back of the room, there was another door. It was a Dutch door, and they didn't lock. And, I'm sorry. I'm from Detroit. I'm like, the door's got a lock. I can't sleep in a room without a locked door. That's crazy. So I spent the whole night staring at the door, thinking somebody was just going to come in the door.
Ah, the Detroit in you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then the second day we're driving, and we are going through, and my sister was getting married in April, and we were going through South Dakota. And it's dark again. My dad's in front of me. I'm in this little Chevy Nova with 3 of my sisters. And my dad, we can see this big, huge, rabbit or hare or whatever the heck they are in South Dakota, comes jumping out. My dad hits it, and it spins under his car and comes at me just doing 360s. I hit it, and it's bumping under the car and everything. We get to the hotel. My littlest sister is 8, and I guess my mom yelled at my dad for hitting the rabbit. My sister was in the back seat, and she's crying and everything. And my dad, his sense of humor, a little off, and he says to my sister, he says, oh, well, I'm sorry, I just killed the Easter Bunny. You're not going to get anything for Easter this year. And, yeah, and she's, hysterical. And, that's just was my dad's sense of humor. It was just crazy. So then the next night we are in, oh, gosh, I don't know, somewhere in Wisconsin or Minnesota. We're driving along. Another one of my dad, I'm not going to make any reservations. We pull into this hotel, and I want to say it was one of those budget 6 or whatever, Super 6 or Super 8 hotels.
All right.
We pull in, and I'm like, the car is sliding all over the place, and I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And I look down, and it's like the road is moving. I'm like, what is going on here? It was totally covered with frogs.
Ew,
and we're driving, it's so disgusting. And we're driving over these frogs, and the car, I don't have any traction. We pull up. He got 2 rooms that were on the ground floor. So we're trying to get out of the car, get the luggage, get in the room. All these frogs are jumping into the hotel room, and my sister decides to go get ice. She didn't realize the ice machine, you had to go out of the room. She runs out in bare feet. She's stepping on these dang things. Yeah, it was just, these are the kind of trips my dad would just, he just thought it was funny.
Here's my question. What do frogs sound like when you're driving over them?
Mm-hmm. They explode. They sound like popping. They pop. And then they stick to your tires. And so the next morning when we got up, there was all these, there was dead frogs all over the parking lot, but there were dead frogs all over the tires. And the smell was really bad. I don't know if we were by some hotel by a retention pond or, they're literally with thousands of these little green frogs everywhere. And of course, my brother's like, I'm going to get out and catch them. And everybody else is like, yeah, no, I don't think so. You're not keeping these things. But yeah, we were trying to wheel the luggage in without the frogs jumping up and jumping on them. And it was a nightmare.
Okay. Does anyone have a good motel story? Because, again, last week, my parents was going through all this crap they did. And I think my parents have said they were in Colorado. This is probably 30 years ago. My dad is dead tired. They're going to try to check into this motel. It's pitch black outside, so my mom waits in the car while he does his thing. And the time that my father goes in, my mother goes, some dude just kind of like walks out of the trees. He has a cat hanging from the front of him. He's not holding the cat. The cat just has its claws like on his shoulder, but it's in front of him. And he's tapping on her car window, saying something to the effect of, "You gonna be here overnight? How long you stay?" And she's like, "I'm terrified. I had to pretend I didn't hear him." So she's acting like she can't hear it through the glass. And she's like, "I can't take my eyes off this goddamn cat." Your father walks out like, "Who the F are you?" I don't know, something to do with the motel. Long story short, they didn't stay.
No.
So and your father was like, "I am terrified of this place."
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Alina. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hi, guys.
Hola.
All right. So I was about 16, and I was in Cabo on a family vacation.
All right.
And my dad wanted to do, like, local eating, not, like, tourist eating. So we went to, like, a house with, like, a pop-up tent, and it was literally at this person's house. And they had tacos, and I had a milkshake. Anyway, so I had the milkshake. I thought it was a good idea. And about, like, maybe 20 minutes later, it, like, hit me, and I didn't realize that you had to pay for the bathrooms or the toilet paper.
Oh, damn.
So I, like, booked it into the bathroom, and I realized there was, like, a person sitting on a stool in the corner, didn't really think about it until after I was done, and then I was like, oh, she's holding the toilet paper that I need. And I didn't have any money on me at the time. So I'm trying to, like, talk to her. She speaks Spanish, I speak English, and I have my hand underneath the stall trying to, like, get her to give me toilet paper. My mom came and saved me. But yeah, I didn't realize at the moment that you had to pay for toilet paper too, and the bathroom.
Do you think she would not have given you the toilet paper? I mean, it doesn't matter the language you speak. If I'm holding toilet paper and I see your hand under the stall door, no matter what language, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
She gave me like one square.
One square?
Oh, that sounds like military. That's my grandfather. We were in the military. We only got one square. And you had to put your
I guarantee she saw the panic in my eyes, you know?
Well, okay, it's one thing to see the panic in your eyes, but how much noise did she hear if this is a milkshake bathroom?
I would like to not remember that.
So it was that bad, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Then she knew what you were asking for, man.
I had, I told you, man, one of the most crazy things in my life that I've ever had to do, which does not seem like that big of a deal, but it was to me, was when I was in Mexico, they had a no flush rule on any paper.
Right.
So the place that I was staying, you could not flush any paper products down because the sewerage system was not capable of handling any kind of paper.
But you still use the toilet.
You still use the toilet.
Right. You just
There's
can't
still
flush your
water
toilet
in there.
paper.
You just can't flush your toilet paper. And the idea of taking a crap, wiping your butt, and then dropping that into a wastebasket, for me to let go of the paper, it was like it was like psychological warfare.
And is this an open trash can?
Yeah, well, I mean, it had a flop lid.
Okay,
on
it did. All right.
But still, it's still. I'm throwing my poopy paper into a trash can.
Yeah, I would never think to
I was
do
just
that.
like, I was so hard to drop the paper. I was like, I'm trying to get it so that none of the poop's on the outside of the paper.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to, wrap it like a used tampon. But at the same point in time, I still don't want to drop it into the waste.
How often do they change the trash can? Because I don't have to think it starts to reek, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess when they...
Because that's everybody's poop. Like, no matter who uses the bathroom, like, they wipe their ass and it just publicly, collectively, we're all just dropping.
Right. And I don't know, man. It was just...
God, man.
Really bothered me. What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
That bothers me every time I hear that story.
It's like it was so hard to let it go.
You never flushed
it was
even
just
once?
in my hand. No, you couldn't. It would have backed up the entire system.
Well, the other thing, too, is if it's a normal one, all right. But I don't know, maybe you ate something that didn't agree with your stomach or whatever.
Right.
Like,
you're in Mexico.
Right, if it's a little... Right,
an ice cube could not agree with you.
Right, like I can't imagine having like a messy one and you just got to... When you got to keep wiping and
and just throw it in... God. I mean, I do that to someone I don't like. But, yeah, I'd feel weird doing it, like in a public bathroom. Like, yeah, just throw my...
Would you, though?
What? Someone I don't like? Put my used toilet paper in the trash can?
Oh, I see. You're putting it in their trash can.
Yeah,
okay,
someone I don't like.
I thought you were being like, hey, bro, you can't flush paper in my place.
Oh, no.
Like, I don't think that's going to work out the way you hope it is.
A straw strong.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROD.
Hello, Johnny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hola.
So, first off, I want to say my 8-year-old daughter is a huge KISS fan. So we actually surprised her, and we were going down to Florida last September to go see them. Didn't tell her, just got her on the plane. By the way, that back road that you guys were talking about,
yeah.
At least if you fly on Alaska, 100% true.
Well, I just had the
they
smell.
call it the free drink up.
I had the smell zone on my seat. It was just I couldn't get away from it.
Yeah, I know. It is shocking that Miles didn't get a cocktail out of this.
Yeah, no, it's they literally before they even finished boarding, they're like, "Oh, you got the free drink aisle." I was like, "Duly noted. Let's keep going."
Oh, hell yeah!
Anyways, we get down to Florida. This is right before I think it was Hurricane Ian or something came, and KISS has already rescheduled this tour like 3 times in West Palm. So we get down there. My daughter's super excited. She's got her face all painted. Get everything. The weather is perfect.
Which member of the band did she paint her face to represent?
Paul Stanley for this one.
Okay.
But anyways, we went down there. She was having a good time. They had that guy that paints that came out there, and they did the whole opening act first. Well, right as he was about ready to finish, the worst lightning storm that you could think of just magically erupts throughout the entire concert. It starts pouring down rain. I mean, her makeup's all washed off. It's in her eyes. She's crying. There's nowhere to go. They don't have cover. We're literally sitting there for like 3 hours probably waiting next to the metal detectors under the tent when it's pouring down, lightning, everything else. My daughter's in tears, like thinking she's never going to see him again because they say it's for the last concert.
Yeah.
And she is just distraught. She's like, what are we going to do? And I was like, look, I'm already out, a couple grand. I guess we'll have to come back. And they finally came over the intercom and they said, hey, we are not canceling this show. We are playing. Just wait it out. Go to your cars. Get safe. Well, finally, about 4 hours later, they come out. They put it on. She had the absolute best time afterwards. But, I mean, try to, console an 8-year-old that loves KISS for 3 hours while it's, raining and lightning. And, like, it was miserable.
I guarantee you she had never seen rain or lightning like that either. So as a kid.
Oh, no, I'm from Florida, so I knew.
Oh, okay.
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 Is that just you and your wife? How did your kid get into KISS? Is that just you guys playing it?
Oh, yeah, we planned it out. I mean, literally, she is like, first off, she wants me to say hi to you guys, and she's listening right now. Her name's Jaden. She absolutely loves you guys. Like, she is going to be the next big rock star. She does guitar lessons. She's a huge fan.
How old is she now? How old is she now?
She'll be 9 on the 19th next month.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's very cool.
Hey, just so you know, Jaden, your dad's cooler than mine was. There's no chance he was taking my ass to a KISS concert because I wanted to go. And I wanted to go. Just saying.
She's already been to a bunch of concerts. We are literally, all our vacations this year are just concerts.
You should take her to see Ghost the next time they come in town.
Hey, she met Migs at Pain in the Grass last time. Like, we are huge fans of you guys.
Oh, thank you.
So what concerts do you have on the summer itinerary for this year?
So we're going to Watershed. We'll be at Pain in the Grass this year. We have KISS, actually. We're row 28 on the floor for this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
well, there'll be no rainstorm and climate pledge.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Well, hopefully it'll be a little bit better, but she's a huge fan, and she was just so distraught. And I mean, I've never seen a kid so sad in my life.
and it sucks when it's yours.
It's about KISS.
That's yeah. Man, trying to console an 8-year-old, it's an impossible to the point where I'd almost say, don't bother.
Mm-hmm. And if it's BTS, I'm the one that wants to leave.
Yeah, no,
like if it's the band that typically my 8-year-old daughters at that age would have liked to go and seen. it'd been a band like that, and I'd be like, you know what, it's just raining. Let's just get the hell out of here. We'll catch them another time.
We'll figure it out.
It's not their farewell tour.
Yeah, I don't. She's been to 2 concerts so far. Both times I'm like, you're going with your mother because I can't go through.
She saw Taylor Swift.
She saw Taylor Swift, and I mean, and it was mind blowing for her.
I saw Taylor Swift. She put on a great show.
She should put on a good show. She's a professional entertainer that sells millions of records, so I expect that she puts on a good show. My problem is if she's playing her music, I can't be there. Like, if she said, hey, I'm going to cover bands that Thrill likes, I'm like, all right, cool, I will stay. But somebody else, I can't remember. Oh, Billie frickin' Eilish. Like, my daughter does not like anyone who's cheap. I'm like, can't you like a band that no one else likes so they can play locally and cheaper, like a $20 ticket?
No, because those aren't popular
I was
for
saying
kids.
defense. They're not really into
I know this, but now that I'm floating the bill,
they're not big on the underground scene.
Yeah, not huge in the indie scene.
I want to get her there, man. Like, look, I don't mind you going to shows, man, but like, you got to pick something cheaper than Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift. Like that. That's a lot, and I did not go to either show. My wife went to the Billie Eilish show, and I said I wasn't. She goes, it's interesting because the show itself looked fantastic. She goes, I am surrounded by 16-year-old girls, and the thing about it is, she said you literally could not hear Billie Eilish because everyone in the audience knew every word of every song. So all you heard were kids singing the song. So my wife's like, I don't dislike Billie Eilish, but I don't like karaoke. And essentially, if you go to her concert, it's like karaoke.
Yeah. Well, look, if you're taking a family of 4 to a concert, it before the pandemic, it was one thing. It was already expensive. I've taken my kids to Bruno Mars a couple times, some other shows. But after the pandemic, there is not a cheap concert ticket out there.
No.
It's so ridiculous.
Not if you're going to a major show. I mean, it's...
What happened? How did they... Because you're right. Like,
it's supply and demand based on the fact that, everybody was dry for the most part of spending that money to go to concerts. People were willing to pay more when they were able to.
Sure. But
supply and demand... I think it's more like those ticket companies are just taking people for a ride.
Absolutely.
They are. Then you have these services that can just buy up all the tickets, so you got to get them on the secondary market right away.
Right.
And the price, like the fees and stuff, like it's ridiculous. Like you're pricing people out of it.
Well, it's crazy. Somebody said like they bought a ticket for a show. Oh, that's what it was. So The Cure, right? Robert Smith, lead singer for The Cure. They're doing like their big reunion tour right now, and they're doing well for themselves on that tip. But he was pissed at Ticketmaster, Live Nation, whoever it is, and just said, man, these ticket prices are ridiculous. So he made it a point, like, look, if you're going to sell our tickets, I want to say he capped it like $20 or $25.
Well, the fees were more than the price of the tickets.
But he didn't know that, so somebody got back to him and said, yo, man, look, you guys did your thing. So I bought 4 tickets. It was $100. Like you said, you capped it. But by the time they're done putting on fees, it was over $200 because the fees cost more than the ticket to go to the goddamn show.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense in any comparison. Like, you're telling me the fees to get me this ticket cost more than the ticket cost to go see the artist? That is insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost like monopolies are bad.
Yeah. No competition.
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
No, it's an open market. There's one more company.
Right, exactly. If you have one other... And didn't they just buy them up anyway?
I don't know. There's just a few of those things where it's just like, come on.
Right. I know.
Right. It's just like, right. Because then also people will be like when Rage started touring, I saw a lot of people, right. Because after the pandemic, everything had to be even more political. And so I saw people posting like Rage Against the Machine, but don't mind playing these giant arenas. And it's like, well, they don't have a choice.
Right.
Like try to go to a show, like even local, you know what I mean? Even smaller venues now, you basically have to go through giant companies.
You got to go through the whole thing.
It's very hard. And it's hard, like you're saying, it's hard for the musicians to get to their average fan.
Well, that's the thing, because, the ticket companies are like, well, that's cool, man. All right, Cure, we'll cap it at $20. It's still $47 in fee. We're still getting exactly the same amount of money we would, right?
What is your travel story from hell? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Melissa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola. So my story, I got the nickname from my sister-in-law, the Pine Sol Bandit. The whole family, 10 of us, start out the trip, and flight gets delayed, and we're hanging out at the airport for probably 16 hours, laying on the floor, just probably getting every germ possible exposed to. And we finally get to Maui, and the 10 of us are all sharing a just top-notch house on the beach, pool, ocean front, and I'd say, well, real quick, we decide with the other in-laws that we're going to get the master bedroom, my husband and I, the first night with our 1-year-old. Just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And about 12 hours into being there, we're exhausted, horrible night the night before. My 1-year-old starts just projectile vomiting, diarrhea, everything possible on this just the most expensive, gorgeous bed I've ever been in. Managed to go through every single layer. I mean, the mattress was good. It went right down to that last splier, but worst part is it goes through the whole entire family. I'm the only one who stays healthy. So every 2 days, it's someone just, sick. I'm taking care of them. I probably did 50 loads of laundry. I'm the only healthy adult in the household.
You need to fake it next time, man. You have to. If everyone gets sick and you're the healthy one, everyone's going to lean on you. So just act like you feel like crap, too.
But secretly, you're really happy inside that you're not getting sick.
Right.
I would have, but everything's soaked. I mean, just everything's vomit, diarrhea. It was just awful. My 14-year-old projectile vomits, and he couldn't get it in the toilet. So I makeshift a bandana, Lysol the crap heck out of that place. And, so it didn't ruin my trip in the sense that I still tried to have my cocktails and my vacation, but it was every 2 days, someone's healthy, someone's sick. Someone's healthy, someone's sick.
But did you have a good... I mean, it's one thing to drink cocktails. I get that. When your kid gets sick, it's like, okay, let's open the whiskey. But did you have a good time at all?
I was in Maui. So
right.
I was in Maui, so that was the takeaway. I think it was better than being at work in the rainy Washington.
So you're saying if you have to deal with diarrhea and vomit, you'd rather do it in Maui than do it at home?
Exactly. Right. And then the end of the story is that the first half of the trip, we got this gorgeous, beautiful room. All we were using that for was just the toilet for my husband and daughter, the family. The second half of the trip, we've got this, bedroom that's got no view, and that was when they were finally healthy.
I've got a rule. The older I get, the less people I want to travel with, as far as the numbers are concerned. Now, if I'm going to meet up with a group of people, and we're all going to get together, we're all not staying in the same house, or we got hotel rooms, whatever the deal is, that's perfectly fine. I can deal with that. But when it's family, and it's 8, it's 10, it just becomes, you're sitting around and you're waiting for people to get ready to go to dinner. Everybody's got to get in the shower.
Correct.
Or, where are we going to go? And you're going to wait when you go to a restaurant because you got a table for 8 or you got a table for 10 or who's going to take care of the bill? And someone's bitching about why did they add gratuity? And you have to explain to them because we're 8 frickin' people sitting at this table. Right. Uncle Joe or whatever, whoever's bitching about whatever's going on. So I get to the point where I'm like, I do not go on these family vacations. And I know they're probably like, well, Miles ain't going to go. No, it's just that I hate them. I absolutely hate dragging people off the beach, all these different things. You got to go here, you got to go here. Like, no, I don't.
I have one coming up, and I hate it. No. I told my wife I hate it. I think she hates it. We're just doing it for the kids so they can see their freaking cousins. But they do that house in Delaware.
Oh, God. See, that's one of those.
And what, look, there's a million reasons why I don't like it. One, it's Delaware. 2, it's like 98 degrees with 98% humidity all the time. I mean, it's just, it's gross and uncomfortable to be outside. We're in one house. It's anywhere from 18 to 21 people deep. I do not enjoy it. And all of it is for all of the reasons that you just said.
Correct.
We need to do blank. First of all, no, we don't, because I'm on vacation. And the thing I like about vacation is I'm never stressed on vacation, but when I vacation with family, it's nothing but stress.
I grew up going to that beach in that area every single summer, except for when I was working at Boy Scout camp my entire life. So with the exception of 3 summers, that's where we would go. And the food there, in my mind, growing up, was one of the major reasons that I wanted to go to that part of the country because the seafood is fantastic. There are a couple of restaurants I love, Paul Revere's, just different kinds of things that I remember growing up as a kid that I liked. They have these French fries that are amazing.
There's a lot of buffets and stuff.
There's the food to me, though, was just the pinnacle of, I love crab, all these different things. We get bushels of crab. But with my brother, he's like, my kids really love tacos, so we're all going to let's just do taco night tonight. So I'm going to cook within the in the condo, and we're all just going to make ground beef tacos, and that'll be our dinner tonight.
No,
I'm like, dude, I'm going out and eat, man. I don't care if it's grotto pizza. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go eat some food, man. Like the reason I'm here is to go eat food.
Sure,
especially for dinner. We can do tacos for lunch if you want.
No doubt.
When we get off the beach, or sandwiches, or all that crap. But I am not sitting here and eating like homemade spaghetti sauce, which we could do at home, when I could go out and get a crab cake, or I could go out and get shrimp, or I could go out and get clams.
That's the thing. They buy
all
groceries.
the things that I love to eat.
They buy groceries. I'm like, we're on vacation.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't want to cook.
Let's go. Exactly. If it's part of vacation is doing things that you would not do while you're at home.
And certainly not doing things that I would do at home.
And I'm the cook and the cleaner upper at home. So I'd like to take a vacation from that for a little while.
Yeah, mighty. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I went down to San Diego one time, and on my way back, I managed to get diverted from San Diego to Denver to Chicago.
What?
And yup. Denver was planned, but Chicago was not. So I went outside at Chicago to hit my vape. Now, mind you, it is like February 2020. It was like -8 degrees, and I had one sweatshirt. So I was hitting my vape, and I got hungry, so I walked down to the nearest 7-Eleven. And when I came back, I just could not sleep. So I ended up doing laps of the airport, of the baggage claim, basically. And I cannot tell you how many laps I did. My phone would get down to 0. I was listening to music, but my phone would get down to like 15. I'd go plug it in till 80, and I'd just start walking again. I couldn't sleep.
I mean, there's nothing else to do, man. That's the problem. I got stuck in the Miami airport, kind of the same thing, and I'm there for 24 hours. I mean, theoretically, I could walk out, but I'm not going through security again, all that kind of crap. And this is what occurred. I never noticed this before, but in airports, all of the seats have armrests, which is no big deal until you're there for 24 hours and you just want to lay down. And I'm like, God damn it. American Airlines, great time. They switched my flight during the flight I was on. So I'm flying from Costa Rica, supposed to land in Miami. All right. And you know, when you go up to get your ticket, like all of this is established. I land in Miami. I go to get my connecting flight. The woman looks down and says, well, you're not supposed to be here. I said, well, no, I'm going all the way up to Baltimore. She goes, well, you're supposed to be in Dallas. I said, no, I'm supposed to be here. That's what the ticket says. It says it on the ticket. She's looking at the computer. Says, well, they switched your flight. So you're supposed to go to Dallas. I said, at what time did they switch the flight? And she gave me the time. And I said, do you realize I was over the Gulf of Mexico on this flight when you changed my flight to this flight? So was I supposed to open the emergency door, jump out of the goddamn plane, and then swim over to Texas? I don't understand. Whatever the case, even though it was their fault, no help. You know who helped me out? Delta. Sure. Because the people at Delta heard me going back and forth with this lady, and the guy finally goes, you know, man, we can help you over here. I'm like, thank you. I didn't fly American for like 20 years after that.
Return to Who Sucks Last coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Inside School of Washington is open to all Washington State residents grades K through 12. We have a personalized approach to education. Whether it's college credits with dual enrollment, career readiness, or credit recovery, we will accommodate your family's needs. The 23-24 school year enrollment is open now. Go to k12.com/ISWA. That's k12.com/ISWA to find out more. We've been around for over 12 years, doing online schooling successfully. No tuition fee and a high success rate. The support you and your student need. k12.com/ISWA.
Hey y'all, it's Garth. I love the country music family. I love the country music family of artists and the country music family of songs. Some of the greatest artists to ever grace music are under the flag of country music. And some of the greatest songs in music history are under the flag of country music. The Big 615, you're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. And I think the country music family is one of those families that is very inclusive and wants both the established artists and the new artists to be side by side in this thing we call country music.
Download the TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. And by the way, yes, it's free. You can also ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All right, here we go. Greta Van Fleet, Climate Pledge Arena, Friday, August the 4th. Time for the secret word. Secret word is Safari. Safari. Text Safari to 206-803-ROCK right now for your chance to win tickets to see Greta Van Fleet. Okay, do we have time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com?
You've got mail. You've got mail.
As we jump right into the birthdays, guys, today is my son Ethan's 8th birthday. Gonna get all of the fart sound bites that you guys have on the board. Thanks, guys. That from Stephen from Excelsior Springs, Missouri. Magellas, please wish my son David a very happy 16th birthday. He's turning into a great young man. So how about a reverse fart? Coach Ted giving him some basketball advice for his tournament this weekend. Let's see here. Thanks for all the laughs, guys. Love Mom and Dad from Boston, listening on the Odyssey app.
Hoops advice, huh?
Hoops.
All right. Well, as soon as you get out of the car, all right, the main thing is triple threat. Don't forget that. All right, triple threat position. We can pass, we can shoot, we can dribble. Don't give up that plant foot. Number 2, whatever your coach's offense is, run it. Now listen, I know how your dad is. I know Boston dads. He's telling you can shoot the lights out of the gym. Don't listen to dad, all right? Coach has a plan for you. Listen to this coach, listen to your own coach. Good luck out there, son.
2 Paras turned 21 today. That's a Pokemon thing, right? Paras? Alex and Maria. Please talk all over each other about whatever. Okay. 21 birthday.
21st birthday, man. Like, I'll tell you, you did it right.
For me when
First of all, that by the time you wake up, it was 3 days ago, and also, you should not remember anything that happened on the 21st, but hopefully at least have a hickey back, man.
It's a dangerous night. Want to say happy birthday to Can Tom, second best pipe player I know. He can ask his mom who the best pipe player is. So how about a Leroy Jenkins and the Dirty Germans talking about why they call him Tuna Can from your soon-to-be boss and stepdad.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Yeah, I know why you think people call you Tuna Can, but it's probably because your penis smells fishy.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's that term in Germany is very well liked. So women actually say, I prefer the man with the tuna can.
Gentlemen, my friends Jack and Kurt both have a birthday today. These guys need something made of something made of explodium. So let's go for a big old bong rip, and then the explosion. All that Ted uses for TV time. Liquor and Whores, that from Dennis. Kaka, guys, can you give a birthday shout-out to my big brother, Tony, a.k.a. the Big Units, because of his sick Randy Johnson-looking mullet? Give him some motivational words from Miles, some words from the captain on being a plumber, and, of course, the Dirty Germans. Happy birthday, bro, and rock on, gentlemen. That from Red the Chicken Man. Okay. Think about this one, Tony. It's weird how it's socially acceptable to put someone else's genitalia in your mouth. People get all weirded out at me if I drop a Dorito on the floor and pick it up and eat it.
That is very true.
Come on, man. Captain.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. It's funny your name's Tony and you're plumber. That's kind of the nickname we have for old Tony the Tiger, Bordeaux does this guppy. It's not that he really fixes any plumbing problems, but he likes to brag about cleaning his pipes, if you know what I'm talking about. I say that man has more energy than anyone else on the SS Guppy. And then, on occasion, he'll help Aunt Jemima clean out the old poop chute, if you know what I mean. Crunch Bears.
So, you know, So there's a reason that captain is not allowed in our country. This is a lack of C's. Number 2 is the way he describes his sexual encounters.
Yeah, it's just something I find quite interesting. I like hanging out with the captain. I can have sex with all kinds of toucans, tigers, and Jemima.
The captain is the one person who doesn't get to watch.
Guys, want to wish my boyfriend Joe a very happy 44th birthday. Can you give him a big old bong rip? And the Dirty Germans making fun of him for being the boyfriend of the biggest dummy. Thank you, guys. That from Danny, a.k.a. the returning champion.
Yeah, Donnie, listen, he wants to be with the biggest dummy in the first place. He does not care so much what comes out of your mouth as opposed to what goes in it.
Yes, in serious, you're the biggest dummy. This is really just stuff for your self-esteem. It's obviously he finds you very attractive.
All the dinosaurs!
Today, not self as a conversation. It's the point, Miles.
Today, Paula is turning 67. She's having hip surgery today, but would love to play doctor with the Dirty Germans. What procedures will they perform on her? Love the show, guys. That from James.
Yeah, I've played the doctor on TV and on the unoccasional patient laying in the hospital. I will tell you this, you will need the hip surgery, but I'm here for your rehab. We will move them back and forth.
Yeah, so, the funny thing is in Germany, we use the body parts for the tongue depressor. Just open your mouth wide.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the Men's Room wants to know, who sucks less?
Yay! Time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, the debate already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And like we said at the top of the show, we have 3 stories. One involves someone that just doesn't feel like going to work. We've all been there, I understand. We also have a guy that, he's looking for some scrap metal. And finally, like I said, Ted, the question you've always asked, how do I make a 9-year-old girl cry?
Yep. How do I make more children cry?
Yes. I saw it on your T-shirt, the mug, the buttons you give us. We have your answer. But
that's why they love me at Chuck Entertainment.
Yes, Chuck Entertainment. Let us start. I believe, Mike, you may have covered this yesterday in your headlines. It was about a 21-year-old woman in New York named Jaylene Moda, and she was recently hired by Buffalo Wild Wings. But she didn't want to go into work last weekend, so she hatched what we call a cunningly stupid plan. She sent text messages to random people claiming that someone was going to, quote, shoot up that Buffalo Wild Wings location. She said it would be a massacre and, quote, lots of people are going down. Again, she didn't want to go to work, so her thought was, if I send threats to random people that are not on my phone, they'll call the cops, they'll close the store. I don't have to go there. Now, she knew people would believe her and more in the restaurant because, unfortunately, this kind of thing happens all the time here. But she should have known that they'd also called the police, who could trace the messages back to her because her freaking number was on their phones. Anyway, she was arrested and is looking up to 5 years in prison.
Dummy.
So you freak out all these people because you didn't feel like going to work.
Don't mess up a night at Buffalo Wild Wings. Just call out sick.
Don't do that to B-dubs. Also, right, just don't show up. It's a restaurant. You can find another one.
It's playoff time. There's plenty of games on.
If you want to get out anything, say you have diarrhea. I promise there's not a place that wants you to come in if you have diarrhea. Don't even say I'm sick. Just, I have diarrhea. I feel fine. I can come in. I have diarrhea. Look, stay home.
I've been spending 15 minutes in the bathroom in a clip.
Right. So I might be late. You want to stay home. That's my advice. Now we go to Syracuse, New York, where it starts with the story of a guy named Bob Prevenew. He still remembers the first time he played wheelchair basketball more than 40 years ago, and as he says, finally, he's no longer the kid watching. So at age 14, he became part of the Syracuse Flyers wheelchair basketball team, and the game was made possible by a special wheelchair with the wheels tipped inward at 15 degrees and a few other modifications. He had no idea even such a thing existed, but he says that chair changed his life. Fast forward. That's why it was so hard to look at the photograph of the remains of 15 basketball wheelchairs that have been mangled and sold for scrap. The chairs belong to Move Along Incorporated. It's a nonprofit group that the Syracuse Flyers evolved into in the past decades, and they provide specialized wheelchairs for basketball, curling, golf, pickleball, and tennis. They all have special adaptive sleds for playing hockey and adaptive kayaks. Well, the basketball wheelchairs cost as much as $3,600 each, putting the loss at close to $50,000. Now, the group's budget is only $25,000 a year, so Move Along did have insurance on the chairs, but it won't cover the entire replacement costs. So Move Along, they stored 3 trailers full of equipment on a parking lot in an industrial site outside of Syracuse. Well, somebody broke into one of the trailers, grabbed all the wheelchairs, and sold it for scrap. So the trailer was discovered, painted brown, without its wheels. Just a few days later, detectives are still tracking down the culprit. Jesus. So even if you don't know that they're specially modified wheelchairs,
they're still
wheelchairs, right?
That's pretty bad.
And now, Ted, here's what you've been waiting for. How to make a 9-year-old girl cry.
All right, let's get it.
When a 9-year-old girl in California decided that she didn't want the 7-month-old goat that she had raised to be slaughtered and eaten, officials went to great lengths to ensure that the animal did not escape its fate. Jessica Long bought Cedar the goat last April for her daughter. Her daughter's a member of the 4-H group, and that goat was to enter an auction at the Shasta District Fair in Northern California. But the girl ended up bonding with the goat, and the family tried to withdraw the goat from the auction. Well, they filed a lawsuit that states that after the goat was sold and the girl was sobbing in the pen on the last night of the fair, well, the mom decided to break the rules and take the goat. So she informed the fair that she would, quote, make it right with both the buyer and the fairgrounds, okay? So the goat was sold to a state representative there for $902. A little over 63 of those dollars go to the fair. The rest went to the family. Well, the mother says she offered to reimburse the state senator. The state senator did not object to the girl saving the goat from slaughter. The fair, however, got the police involved in what should have been a civil case, and they threatened grand theft charges. Now, again, remember, the woman called the state senator, said, hey, my daughter bonded with the goat. State senator said, cool, I'll reimburse you for the money, get the goat back. No problem, but the fair's not having it. So Shasta County Sheriff's officials, they obtained a search warrant. They drove 500 miles to a farm where they believed the goat was. They spent more on gas than the fair would have received from the actual sale. Anyway, they found the goat at another farm, took it back to Shasta County. They say it's not clear what happened to the goat next, but lawyers believe the goat was slaughtered and donated to a community barbecue. As they say, looking at this case, we see as the county and fair officials improperly use their authority and connections, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the lawsuit states the deputies left their jurisdiction, drove over 500 miles at taxpayer expense, crossed approximately 6 separate county lines, all to confiscate the young girl's beloved pet goat so that it can be slaughtered and served at the community barbecue. Damn. That's how you make a 9-year-old girl cry, Ted.
Wow.
Keep that in mind. So again, we have the woman in New York did not want to go to work at Buffalo Wild Wings, so she texted random people that there's going to be a mass shooting there. It backfired. We have some unidentified thieves in Syracuse, New York, who stole the specially adapted wheelchairs to sell for scrap. And whether you know they're specially adapted or not, they're still wheelchairs. And finally, the good God, man, the California State Fair Commission, who drove 500 miles to retrieve a goat specifically to be slaughtered and served as barbecue.
Sadly, I think out of all these stories that all suck pretty bad, the woman who called off of work at Buffalo Wild Wings and threatened to shoot up the place with all these people, she got caught. She's probably going to spend time in jail.
Oh, for sure.
She's not working at Buffalo Wild Wings anymore. They did not close the restaurant on that night or that day.
Right.
No one got shot, although she was full of crap, and that's a terrible thing to do. That's better than ruining $50,000 in wheelchairs and destroying a 9-year-old kid's life, as far as the way they feel.
Yeah, that's what Mike said this morning.
I have to say that that's ridiculous, that I have to make that statement in public, but the woman in New York who did not want to go into work and called in a fake shooting threat at Buffalo Wild Wings, in this case, she sucks the least.
See, the problem is, though, and I'm making some assumptions here.
All right.
She is a normal person who just didn't want to go to work and calls in a threat.
That's the assumption.
Right? I don't know what the hell's going on in California and why you would, she just tried to pay for the goat, then you retrieve the goat.
But our thing is, you made a deal with the now owner. So I sold you the goat, Ted.
Right.
Then I call you because my daughter's all butthurt about it. And you say, hey, no worries. You, the owner of this goat, agree. Like, cool. And we do all of it's fine, and for whatever reason, the state fair, who really has nothing to do with it at this point, decide, no, we're going to
So that's what I'm saying. These are decisions made by, I'm assuming, just normal, sober people.
Let's assume,
I'll take the wheelchairs suck the least for two reasons. Number one, I'm assuming the guys that sold the wheelchairs are strung out.
I would assume.
And then number two, they sold it for scrap metal. So I would say the person that bought wheelchair scrap metal is the real bad person.
I would agree with that, right.
I'm thinking to myself anymore with all this crap going on with catalytic converters and everything.
Yeah.
It's the people that buy the scrap metal that need to be investigated more so. Where is the metal coming from?
But isn't that the truth of all things? Like you talk about big
Pawn
drug
shops,
addiction.
I
You go
understand.
Like, I know you're
I
upset
get
at
it.
drug dealers,
I get it.
but they're only in business because people keep buying their drugs.
It's almost like gas gets really expensive, and the gas companies make record profits.
Right, exactly.
Who should we really be mad at?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook or on Twitter. Shot of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Honk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, the city of Kyle, Texas is attempting to break a world record by inviting more than 2,300 Kyles to all gather in the same place at the same time.
I think they've had more and more every year.
You can do that
for their Kyle Palooza.
Troy, New York. Trying to think of other places.
Wasn't there like
what about the country
Dave
of
or a
Chad?
Josh? Joshua?
There was a Josh convention.
There's
in Arizona.
Josh conventions. But I like that, Kyle.
Why don't they do that like, all right, everyone names Squim. Meet and Squim for the Squim convention.
Right.
Everyone name Hump Tulips.
Or the Karen Fest.
Even go simpler like...
Do it for the ladies.
Forks. If there's any forks out there, come on out.
How about if you own a fork, come to Forks.
If you can be a certified boring person, go on down to Boring, Oregon.
There you go. Man, I have some nominees. They might not know it, but like, hey, I put you in this contest.
That would be great. The Boring Oregon Fest, but it needs to be an exclusive invite only.
But there's no events.
It just goes.
You're literally just there, but there are no planned events in Boring, Oregon.
It's nothing but just corners that have been stationed there with chairs that you can go sit.
We don't have
there and
anything.
drink.
Yeah.
What about Eugene? You could have Eugene.
Oh, you could
get a
have
few of them.
Eugene,
All
yeah.
the Eugenes out there.
Yeah.
That'd be an odd mix.
What, Eugenes?
We'd have
I
women
think
and
so.
men.
I guess you would. I don't know if I know a woman Eugene.
Well, Gene.
Yeah, but you're not Eugene. You got to be Eugene.
Yeah, that's JG.
Yeah. This is Eugene. If your name is Eugene,
It's Eugene.
there you go.
Is there a Ted?
Just a place called Ted?
Yeah.
Or an
I'm
Edward.
going to look it up. Hold on.
I don't know.
Ted Lion.
Google. All right. Let's see.
Ted Fest.
Is there a place named Ted?
Ted Fest. We could do a Ted Fest.
Place named
Easy.
Ted.
There's the Teds out there.
How many places are named Ted? All right. There is one place in the world named Ted. Ted can be found in one country.
Oh, tell me it's... I hope it's the city of Ted and Chad.
It's not. Wait a minute. You know what? It is. It's like in the southeast corner of Ethiopia.
All right.
I think I'll stick out as though like, oh, Ted's here.
Oh, you're going to stick out.
No, my bad. It is actually in Somalia.
All right.
Right on the border with Ethiopia.
Very peaceful.
So
I'm skipping that one.
You need to do Ted Fest, man.
No, you know what? All the other Teds, you have fun.
Man, I hear they have ragers over there.
You're not going to go to Ted, Somalia.
Come on, man.
No. This will be a no for me, dog.
Courts and vlogs. This is Ted.
That is the one place in the world named Ted.
Coming to you from Ted.
Oh, yeah. I do one video. Hey, it's me, Ted. I'm in Ted, Somalia. And yeah,
there we go.
Specifically, Ted is the city, Bakul is the state, Somalia.
All right, there you go. New York City was just ranked the wealthiest city on the planet because it is home to 340,000 millionaires.
It's not even if you can afford to live there at all.
Pretty much. Yeah, and that's...
if you can afford to live there, you're doing all right.
That's still minimum wage. Millionaire is minimum wage there in New York City.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, only $1 million. Yeah, we need more credit checks.
Tokyo is number 2 and San Francisco is number 3 on the list, by the way.
And all of that makes sense, right?
Exactly. A new survey...
Yeah, I mean, it adds up.
Right. I own 400 square feet.
Well, and people always forget, there's a lot of cool cities throughout the world. There's only few, like, world cities, right?
Correct.
Sure. New York.
London, Paris.
Well,
Tokyo.
I'd say Beijing.
Beijing, sure.
Yeah, there's only a few of those. I mean, that's why Chicago's the second city.
Right.
I know, that's what its nickname is.
The second city.
Yeah, for that reason. You're second in New York.
All right, I just looked it up. That's a level 4 travel advisory to Somalia.
Oh, what's level 4? What does it mean? What's going on there?
Do not travel.
Oh, just don't.
That's not recommended.
So I'm like, I'm not going to see the other TEDs this year.
We keep inviting people to TED Fest. We just...
I'm looking up each of our names now.
There's got to be a Mike.
Is there a...
got to be a Stephen Hill.
Place.
Oh, my God. Is there a Stephen Hill?
There's got to be somewhere. Welcome. I'm sure it'll be Stevens Hill.
Right, Stevens Hill. A new survey found the most helpful cities in America based on volunteerism and civic engagement. What do you got, Mr. Hill?
Okay, there's one place in the United States named Mike. It's not saying where. There is a Mike in Nigeria.
Okay.
So why don't you guys coordinate your African, hey, I'm a white dude fest, but if your name is this. But also there's a place called Mike in Hungary.
Well, Mike is hungry a lot.
So there you go. If you're a hungry Mike.
I would go to Nigeria.
Mike's.
That's fine.
No, that's Mike's. You're in
Mike,
Somalia,
Ted.
bud. Come on, sorry, man. I don't know what to tell you. Is there a place called Miles?
You can come into my Hungry Fest, Ted.
There's a place in Australia for Miles.
I'll go to Australia.
There you go. What is Miles famous for? Sitting at the junction of some way and something else. It's a vibrant rural township known for its spring wildflowers and well-preserved living pioneer history.
Spring my wildflower on you.
Finally, where you go?
Aggressive. I like that.
How many places named? One place in America named Steve. Oh, it's in Arkansas. I'd rather go to Somalia.
Hey,
I'm going to
Probably
Somalia.
drove through there on your way to Texarkana.
Right.
Good God.
You can,
We'll go together, buddy.
we're all going outside of our
You
comfort
escort
zone.
me to Arkansas. I'll escort you to Somalia.
Yeah. New study found doing something for 21 days, that doesn't actually form a habit.
It doesn't?
Nope.
I always heard it was 27.
Yes, you did. And that's wrong.
That's wrong, too?
That's wrong.
How many days it got to be?
I don't think there's a certain amount of days to it, Ted. I'm not working on it. All I know is that the 21 days, lie.
All right.
Lie. There's a satellite falling out of the sky that has a 1 in 2,500 chance of falling on someone.
That's today.
That is today.
Oh, it's in today.
That's today.
Look up, everybody.
I like how
It's
they say,
supposed to be 6:30.
they say it weighs the same as 10 emus. I'm like, that's fine, but assume those emus are traveling at like 12,000 miles an hour.
Well, wait a minute. What time was that thing supposed to land?
Not positive. Not working on it.
I read it this morning, and I was like, I thought it was 6:30 our time.
Do they know where, roughly? Okay.
I'm sure they do, but they haven't told you yet.
It's one of those instances where ignorance is bliss. Sometimes you just don't want to know.
That
these
means
things
they
that
think
you
it's
know.
going to hit land.
Right.
If they think it's going to hit the ocean, which is 9 times out of 10, they
They'll
tell you.
They'll
It'll
say.
land in the ocean.
Speaking of ignorance being bliss, there's a lot of things in life that you just kind of wish that you didn't know, and I'm about to ruin that. Get ready to cringe, kids.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 facts you wish you'd never learned. This one's quite timely and just for you, Mike. 20% of office coffee mugs contain fecal matter. And you're worried about how often I clean my travel mug?
Yes.
You should be more concerned about what Thrill does to your coffee mug before you get in.
It's just a quick rub.
Sip on that.
Okay, and you should be mortified by your condition to your doggone Contigo over there, man.
Yeah, Mike walked out of ED's office earlier today. It's like, oh my God.
What was in there?
It was old coffee.
Ew, man.
And it was moist old coffee. That was nasty.
Moist old coffee.
Moist old coffee.
That's my nickname in high school.
Yeah. So these are 10 things that you wish that you never learned. Number 10 is probably the most docile of all of them. Everything that you smell involves molecules getting inside of your nose. When you smell something, it's because odor molecules from that thing are actually getting into your nose. Fresh baked cookie? Yeah. Puke? Yeah. Poop? Yeah. Putrid meat? Also yes.
You're
How is that
100%
shocking, though? Like, obviously, if I smell something, then, yeah, obviously the molecules are getting in my nose.
But it's not just that, though. So, because when you're younger, you smell something, you just take it as, I'm smelling something. When you get older and they explain, okay, the actual molecules from this thing are getting in your nose and part of your throat should smell.
Right.
Yeah. So, like when you walk into the bathroom and you think to yourself, man, somebody just dropped a heater. Like, I'm literally breathing in their turds.
VD, while you're doing that, he's rubbing my face. Number 9, your face is covered in parasites.
Yeah. That's
all right. One particular kind lives on your face, or more specifically, in the hair follicles on your face. These scaly, 8-legged critters are called Demodex mites, and they're known for gobbling down oil and skin cells that end up in your follicles.
It's fine until they show you a picture, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you go like, okay, I believe this, but I look in the mirror, I don't see it. And then they show you a picture of what they look like, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to light my face on fire.
By the way, much like VD, they lack anuses or any other way to get rid of waste. So they just store it all inside their bodies and let it spill out after they die and start decomposing.
Ew, man, really?
Yes. Number 8, real life Finding Nemo situation would end incredibly differently. In reality, so you guys at the very beginning Finding Nemo, the 2 clownfish, they lay this clutch of eggs, which is then eaten by like a sturgeon or something like that, and then mom dies, right? In reality, when a dominant female clownfish dies, the dominant male becomes a female and reproduces with the largest male.
Nemo! Hey, listen, something wacky happened.
I don't care.
Before you were born.
I lost all my eggs. Now I can make eggs.
Yeah, you gotta have
now I
sex with
just
something.
stare at myself in the mirror and get
I'm
turned
so
on.
pretty. Come here, buddy.
I didn't know it was going to happen.
Who's the clown now?
Nice gills.
Let's squirt you with my flour.
Your mom died. I got a vagina. Who knew?
That's one big ass fin. I'm gonna put the egg in cloaca.
Number 7 of the 10 facts that you wish that you just never learned. Anesthesia awareness affects about 0.15% of general anesthesia patients.
So you're out, but you're aware that you're getting surgery?
Not
you
just
are
that,
paralyzed, but you are awake.
Yeah.
But you can't open your eyes. Because there's 2 drugs they give you, right? One to relax everything, the paralysis part. The other to put you to sleep. I have read 3 horror stories of people waking up during surgery, but they cannot alert the doctors because their body is still paralyzed.
Completely paralyzed.
There's nothing you can do. So you're getting like open heart surgery. Think about the amount of pain you would be in. Someone has opened your chest. It is being held open by like these metal grips, and then they're using like a cauterizing tool on your heart. Yeah. And now you feel it for as long as that operation takes, but you can't do anything to alert them.
Fun times.
That is frightening.
Number 6.
Terrifying.
Most cruise ships have a morgue below deck.
Yeah,
in fact.
It's a fact.
Right.
They have to.
I feel like that one went around
People
here.
like me kill
Veggie Dog joining us in studio.
Hello.
Welcome in, Veggie Dog.
I was just here for the, accoutrement.
Yes.
Number 5, thawing permafrost could unlock a host of problems. In 2020, NASA and European Space Agency launched an initiative to study how the deterioration of Arctic permafrost might affect global methane levels. But researchers found that this thick layer of frozen ground may not just unlock methane as it melts. As the ESA reported in 2021, it also, quote, has the potential to release antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
That has not been around for 10. That's why they wouldn't eat that woolly mammoth meatball.
Undiscovered viruses and even radioactive waste from the Cold War nuclear reactors and submarines. Fun.
Cool.
Number 4, 6 vials of smallpox were found in an FDA storeroom. In 1980, the WHO announced the smallpox was officially gone. However, you can imagine everyone's horror when in 2014, 6 vials of the smallpox virus were unearthed in an FDA lab in Maryland.
Now, hold on. There's a clarification to that story, and that is there were 2 places, a super secret facility in Russia and the CDC
lab. Yep.
What they didn't realize is that there were 6 stray vials left at the FDA in a closet, basically.
In a loose box.
From 1980 to 2014. They're like, oh, what's this? Oh, sweet Jesus.
Indeed. But I'm okay with that. It's the FDA, not like my grandmother was a hoarder and we found 6 vials. You know what I mean? Right. It's in a place where you go like, all right.
Indeed. Number 3.
What were they holding it for?
A good time.
It's a good question, Ted. This is what they don't want you to know. 10 facts that you'll wish that you would never learn. Number 3, Disney parks are a popular, not so permanent resting place. We all know this.
People die at Disney?
Not necessarily die, but they're spread out there at Disney.
Oh,
Disney
ashes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You know what the most popular spot to spread the ashes is at?
It doesn't. Is it the castle?
No, it is very apropos. It makes a lot of sense.
The Haunted Mansion?
Bingo. The Haunted Mansion.
Well, it's dark enough in there. You could pull that off.
Right.
Yeah,
For the record, sprinkling human ashes on Disney grounds is prohibited, and custodians grab the vacuum whenever they see any. Yeah, if you're spreading grandma out there, or mom, or kid, or anybody, they're vacuuming it up and throwing it
She's
away.
in a Dyson.
That's right. Enjoy.
Disney probably has tighter security and more cameras than any casino.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is nowhere you're in that park you're not on camera.
Correct. Number 2, you guys might have gone swimming, and maybe you swim with your eyes open underwater, and when you come up, your eyes are burning a little bit, right?
The chlorine.
You're absolutely wrong, Ted. It's not the chlorine.
It's not?
It's not.
Leave it alone, Mike. It's the urine. It's what I told Mike. Don't even finish it.
Yep, it's the urine.
It's the urine, yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe you guys should stop peeing in the pools.
Well, maybe you can keep your eyes closed.
That's right. Grab some goggles, bitch.
I'm peeing. Get your pee goggles, you son of a whore.
And then the number 1 fact that you wish that you had never learned. Again, I feel like a lot of us already know this. Regulators allow certain amounts of nasty stuff in food products. Powerful as it is, the FDA can't keep every single cockroach leg out of your lunch. Instead, it decides on safe proportions of nasty stuff to allow in certain food products. Every 500 grams of canned tomatoes, for example, can legally harbor about 10 fruit fly eggs, 2 maggots. Some mixing and matching is fine too, so manufacturer could technically toss in 5 eggs and 1 maggot without the FDA knocking on the factory door.
To be fair, they don't toss them in.
Right.
It's just that
other than mosquitoes, most bugs do not carry diseases that affect people.
Correct.
Right. I mean, a tick does. There's like a handful of them. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, not all of them.
And if there's anything that I've learned about, these stripping videos of like your strawberries and whatnot, if you put them like a vinegar solution or something like that, you're eating a lot of bugs on the daily if you're eating your fruits and veggies, man.
Look, if you eat healthy, you're eating bugs. Kiss my ass.
That's right. So
they sell bugs at the ballpark.
Right, exactly.
And
we need to be careful about what we're eating.
Yeah.
Nah, settle down. We're okay. The U.S. Secret Service stopped an intruder on the White House property, and they were released without much thought at all, Miles.
Why is that?
Because I will tell you at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, y'all, it's Garth, the Big 615. You're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. That's the thing we call the Big 615.
Download the free TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. Or ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
100 minutes to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and see if Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed.
The drink desk.
Today we toast an unidentified high school student from an unidentified high school in an unidentified place. Now, what we do know is that they were tasked with having to read Shakespeare. Specifically, they had to read Twelfth Night, and then they had to write a report about it, right? Standard crap that all kids have to do. But the kids' report, it was actually really well written and pretty thorough. I actually read through it today, and I'm like, this is a good report. But the kid failed anyway. So the question is, why? Well, it seems that our enterprising young student, he didn't actually write the paper. He used the ChatGPT AI to write it, which is now a thing. And I wish we had it when I was in school, because I promise you, teachers, I would have never read anything you tried to have us read. But how did the teacher figure it out? Well, this kid did not take the time to proofread what the AI put out. And look, man, I'm all about getting out of book reports. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a role model. I hated school. I hated reading Shakespeare. But proofread. The first paragraph of the report reads, quote, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I'm not able to complete this assignment. However, I can provide you with some guidance on how to approach this essay. And then the rest of it broke down, 12th Night from Shakespeare. The kid didn't bother to read that. So the teacher immediately saw this, commented on it, and failed the kids. Kids, if you're going to cheat, look, there's a million ways to do it. Be good at it. If you need advice, ask me. I was a master of this in high school and college and middle school. In elementary school. I got a million ways to cheat without ever getting caught. Anyway, we toast this kid. We pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Curtis. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola. All right, Curtis, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of four stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? We have Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Interior decorating is always fun.
Hell yeah. All right, here is your song. 57-year-old Carmela Mannies of Pinellas County, Florida. She took her situation from bad to worse after her recent arrest. Now, she was arrested on a warrant for failing to appear in court for a prior arrest in connection with a shoplifting incident at a local Walmart. Now, while she was being processed into the county jail, a booking officer, quote, observed an anomaly as she passed through the full-body scanner. During a subsequent strip search, officers reported that something was protruding from her vagina, and not just her labia. Now, I just make that assumption based on the mugshot I saw in this one. Anyway, Mannies removed the object from her lady flaps, threw it on the ground, and stepped on it in an effort to destroy the evidence. And then she tried to explain the object away as being a sex toy, except that it wasn't a sex toy. And that's why she was charged with introducing contraband into a prison facility and tampering with evidence. The question is, what was she attempting to hide in her vertical buffalo gums? Was it a gun, a crack pipe, a cell phone, or a knife? So gun, crack pipe, cell phone, or knife. One of these was hidden up in the wahine. Yeah, buffalo gums. I'll lay that one.
Oh, man. Not the options I was expecting. What's the tag got to say?
I don't know. You said Florida, right?
Yeah, Pinellas County, Florida.
And how old is
57 years old.
She's 57, yeah. I looked at her mugshot. She's been around the block a few times, for sure.
And then they're booking her. She's got something hidden in there.
Right. So she's already at the jail, goes to the body scanner. That's when they're like, come on, man. We obviously something is there. Like, it's a sex toy. Pulls it out, tries to crush it under her foot.
I'm going to go with crack pipe.
Crack pipe.
I know when I'm on a bender of crack, I always forget my crack pipe is hidden in my, your
Curtis,
vagina.
Hey, Curtis, I'm on Team 10. I'm going to go crack pipe.
Like I just said it. Yeah, I got the old crack pipe shoved up the prison wallet.
I almost wanted to go cell phone because it said they tried to stomp on it to destroy it.
Correct.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like you would. It seems like they would know what a crack pipe was.
Okay.
I'm going to go cell phone.
Cell phone. Okay. All right, we're going to find out final answer on that. Cell phone. Ted, you're going crack pipe with me?
I'm going crack pipe.
Okay. What did she have in her ham and cheese hot pocket? Was it a gun, a crack pipe, a cell phone, or a knife? We'll find out next.
That was a tease. What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, categories: interior decorating on profile. That's a 57-year-old Florida woman arrested for failing to appear in court after a shoplifting charge. When she was booked, she had something in her hand wallet. Was it a gun, a crack pipe, a cell phone, or a knife?
And Curtis, hang on there. What did I just do there?
Curtis.
Curtis, that is the very question that we posed to you. And let's see. You went with the cell phone. I'm afraid it was not a cell phone. And I'm telling you right now, Curtis, if you saw this woman's mugshot, you know it's not a phone because ain't nobody trying to call her. Throw that at there. I'm being nice. She was a terrifying looking thing.
Right. Even Tyrone won't answer.
Oh, my God, dude. I mean, I just looked at the mugshot like, you're only 57. Dear God. King Tut looked better when they dug his ass out of the sarcophagus. Let's see. D. Ted Smith and Miles, you went with the crack pipe.
Yes. Crack pipe.
Of course.
All right. That seems like the easiest one to snap.
Oh, I forgot this.
She didn't forget it. Just said it's a sex story.
Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
I had a small pipe I used to use for marijuana that I kept at a certain place. Mm-hmm. They was like, dude, this is a crack pipe. It's like, no, you can only put like one little bud in there. It's like, it is.
It's a glass tube, dude.
Yeah,
right. But if you smoke weed out of it, then it's a weed pipe.
All right, we got the Jimmys.
Fallon Kimmel.
Writers.
Ooh, writers.
Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Or Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is way through the title. All these guys have teams of talented writers come over their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Amazon Prime is rolling out a feature that allows you to boost the dialogue of what you're watching so you can hear it over the background music and effects. So apparently my mom got a job at Amazon.
Fallon. The Ted Smith.
That's Fallon.
Amazon Prime is rolling out a feature that will allow you to boost the dialogue in movies and TV shows so you can hear it over the background music and effects.
Ooh.
Yeah. In other news, apparently my dad got a job at Amazon.
He's not kidding, man. I've spent a week with my parents.
Every time I talk to my mom, I go, who is there? Oh, I just have the TV on in the background.
My dad watches the news every morning, and every morning it's as though I were wearing headphones listening to it. He is 40 feet down a hall. He can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Just cranks it up.
Walmart had to pull an Earth Day t-shirt from stores in Canada after someone spotted a hidden swear word on it, and it was the C word. But the good news is they're flying off the shelves at Australian Walmarts.
I'm going to say it's you, Ted Smith.
Yeah, that's me. It's Earth Day yet.
Kevin.
Hundreds of Southwest airline flights were grounded due to what the FAA described as an equipment issue. Southwest spent so much time on the ground, they're basically a railroad now. Gibble.
Hundreds of Southwest flights were grounded due to what the FAA described as equipment issues. Oh, you experienced that? The Southwest, I tell you, they spend so much time on the ground, they're basically a railroad now.
Pick your own seat. We ain't going anywhere.
Right. Make yourself comfortable. You'll be here a while.
Netflix is shutting down their DVD rental business. I miss Netflix DVDs. I love getting those. Are you still watching postcards in the mail?
Myers.
Fallon?
Netflix announced that they are shutting down their DVD rental business. I miss Netflix DVDs. I love getting those. Are you still watching postcards in the mail?
What is the hottest show? I've been talking about it all week.
Stranger Things.
No, Mike.
Hottest show.
I brought it up the last 2 days in a row.
Is this the wedding
one here in Seattle.
blind thing?
Love is blind.
Love is blind. Yeah. Love is blind when you had 10 Jack Daniels.
Yes, it is.
Well, at least you're not picky.
Right, and Miles, you are correct. It was filmed here in Seattle, and I believe some of the people are like from Seattle.
Okay.
Yep, some.
Yeah. But I guess, everybody was pissed off on Sunday because the live finale got delayed. But former participants say the show ruined their lives.
What did they expect?
In a new expose, they called the show Traumatic Experience, saying they were expected to film 20-hour days for 2 weeks, while producers limited their sleep as well as their food and water, but kept the alcohol flowing.
Yeah, of course.
Love is blind, but none of them are unattractive. You can't let them eat real food.
Everyone heard that from like all those shows. Like, we want you to kind of be loopy.
Yeah.
Right? Say ridiculous things. Because if you don't say ridiculous things, then why would anyone watch the show? Right?
Listen, I had a buddy that was on a reality TV show. We give him a hard time when it comes up, right? Because they filmed like a scene or whatever where they're supposed to be coaching kids, and he was just kind of like, I don't know, like he wasn't the head coach. Him and the other guy, he was just like, go ahead, like I don't really care about coaching. But the way they edit it is just him being like, I can't stand kids.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or like you had to look at other people's projects, and he's like, I gave a nice review, and then they were like, nah, we need this or that. And he's like, of course, that's the one you saw. So he ends up being the D of the whole season. So yeah, that stuff works crazy. They said the sets were windowless. The only time they saw sunshine was when we went to the bathroom or in a trailer outside.
I'm filming in Seattle. You're not going to see sunshine regardless if you're filming outside.
Their phones were confiscated. Many of the contestants who spoke chose to remain anonymous, but Daniel Rule from season 2 said she fainted, probably from drinking while not getting enough sleep, food, or water.
But you chose to go on these shows, right? It's voluntary. You're not recruited. You choose to go on these shows. It is made for television. I can't say you have to know this. You're always surprised when people don't know, but they want to edit the best possible stuff there is.
Here's what they're saying. She's like, look, I passed out because I've been filming for 20 hours a day. They don't give us a lot of food. But she wasn't given medical attention. So she woke up, they gave her a COVID test to force her to go film a confessional. Even if contestants realized how badly they were being treated, they couldn't leave unless they wanted to pay a $50,000 penalty. Now, that's the other thing, too. And you're not wrong. You sign up to be on reality. You know how it's going to be edited and stuff. Mm-hmm. But there's not, language in there like, oh, hey, by the way, we're barely going to feed you and give you water.
I don't know that. I don't know that. But, you just assume nothing good's going to...
This is what it takes to get married?
It's what it takes to get on TV.
You got to starve yourself. So the wedding pictures look good.
Obviously, the show's producer, Kinetic Content, issue a statement saying the well-being of our participants is paramount importance to Kinetic. We have rigorous protocols in place to care for each person before, during, and after filming. Netflix hasn't said anything. It's a massive show. And you're right, now that people know this is going on, there'll still be people that want to go on the show.
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
You can say all this, I believe it's true. You kind of know what you're getting into. Even if you didn't know what you're getting into, now you know. And you can make this public, and people will still absolutely
you went on a show
positively sign up, because you're not there for any reason other than to be on TV, because a lot of people have parlayed their brief appearance into the opportunity, anyway, to do something else. Right. I get it. Yeah.
Well, also... I had another friend, and their company was trying to do a reality show.
All right.
Right? So they got to talk to some other people that had done these kind of company-wide reality shows. And there was one relationship, and it's not hard to figure out, between a father and a son. It was a very popular reality show. But basically, he talked to one of them, and he was like, it got us super popular. We sold a ton more, blah, blah, blah. So he's like... It destroyed our relationship.
Absolutely.
We do not speak. A lot of the family doesn't speak anymore. I think he might ask.
Well, what was the very first one? The Chopper Show. That ended the same way, right? I was
I would say Real World is probably the first reality show.
But at least they weren't already friends. They weren't family.
Correct.
So even if you had a big beef, in the end, it's like you didn't know this person beforehand. Mm-hmm. So even if you have a problem... Other than TMZ caring about it, it doesn't matter. But right, when it involves family or your business or any of these kinds of things, it's a slippery slope, man.
It is. And you can still make that choice, right? You can say, all right, well, do I like my business partner that much? Maybe not. I mean, hell, you see it in radio, right? Like I joke with Miggs all the time. We do the mega cast. One day we might do a show together. And I'm like, well, we wouldn't hang out as much. And he's like, why? It's like, well, if we actually did this 5 days a week together,
you gotta get away.
It kind of changes the relationship, and we probably wouldn't hang out as much.
Sure.
Or you see married couples in radio all the time that do a show.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some that have made it. There's some that have not. But I'm like, that would just be tough. I mean, look, I don't know if Kelly Ripa and Mark are going to make it.
Exactly.
I told my wife that yesterday. We were talking about some people we know that decided to do a husband-wife team on the radio. And I said, babe, there's no effing way I'd ever do that. Aside from the fact she'd be terrible on the radio. I just said, look, you know, on the radio, I get to have fun. I get to make fun of you. And when you talk to your friends, you get to make fun of me. But even if we've had a bad morning, right? Say we're fighting, whatever. When I go on the air, you compartmentalize. It doesn't matter. I go do the show. I said, but you and I have been fighting, but now you're sitting across from me. It's harder.
Also,
it's harder to compartmentalize when the person who I'm angry at or who's angry with me is like literally where you are, Ted.
It would be easier to do a 45-minute, once-a-week podcast when you guys are in the right place to do it.
No.
But 4 hours every single day.
I wouldn't even do that.
That's a different world.
Nothing.
Or preparing even for a half-hour show like Kelly and Mark.
That's an hour show.
Oh, it's an hour?
Live? Yeah. That's an hour-long show. Because they always, you know, even when it was Regis and Kathy Lee, like, they come out, they do, like, kind of like a monologue. You read some letters from the audience. I don't know if they're still pinning stuff on the stage.
You think Kelly's cool with that idea, or do you think the producers went to her?
So what I have read is that actually the producers went to her and were like, we really like it when he guest hosts.
That's what my guess was.
Yeah, if I was her, I might have vetoed that one.
I would have.
Right? Just like, no.
It has nothing to do with what I think of who I'm with. It has to do with my profession. And when I'm at work, you operate a different way.
Right? Yeah, and entertainment, that's the only where it comes in.
Do I get into work mode? Let the kids get enough around. I get into work mode where it's very definitively, these things must be done at this time. And they hate it, right? But you rarely do it. You do it when you just have to take control of the situation. But like, I know you at home. You know how I am at work, but I would still be work person with you. And the difference is you're the one person who would fight me differently than anyone else.
People get retired, and they're well off enough to be able to be okay. Mm-hmm. But someone will go get a job just so they can get a break from their spouse.
For sure.
Even if it's, being a Walmart greener, whatever, you're not making a lot of money, but at the same time, you just need 4 or 5 hours away in your day.
I mean, like,
you drive each other crazy.
I was kind of hanging out with a bartender for a while, and she was like, look, if you want to come by at the end of the shift with your buddies, that's fine. Like, don't sit at my bar in the middle of my shift. Like, I'm trying to work. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to talk to you and your buddies just because I know you. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. Now, more importantly, that's Kraken hockey, Mike.
Let's go.
That was a hell of a game last night. First ever playoff game for the Seattle Kraken, the franchise. Go out there, you're taking on the defending champs in the Colorado Avalanche. And just good game. It was. Right? They beat, and we were talking about the Megacast, Colorado didn't look bad. The Kraken just looked better.
Yes.
What do you think Gruber's chest looks like today? That guy took more pucks to the chest. He saved everything, right, except one. But, he got just beaten up all night.
Yeah, in his second period,
they fired off 34 shots on his ass, right?
Yeah.
You let one in. That means 33 of them ricocheted off of your body. I don't know how goalies do it. I know they have pads, blah, 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 but it's like a bulletproof vest, right? The bullet did not hit you. It's still like getting hit with a sledgehammer.
And goaltenders in hockey are a different breed.
Yeah.
There's some guys that, frankly, are not that good during the year, and they can just heat up in the playoffs, right? I'm trying to remember, 20 years ago, it was that Dominic Hasek for the Buffalo Sabres. That team was never that good, but the dude would heat up in the playoffs, and they couldn't lose. You're always going to have a Patrick Waugh.
Is it Waugh?
It's Waugh. But it's spelt Roy.
Waugh.
He was good.
You say?
He was good all the way around. But I want to say, was it for the Kings? Maybe it was Jonathan Quick. There's sometimes teams just get in the Stanley Cup playoffs, catch fire, and then move on and on and on.
It, right?
There's really only one franchise that never does, and that's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Let's see.
When you laugh, it's more insulting.
Hey, look, it's not my fault. They shouldn't get out of the first round. And they're always good, but they can't do it.
Are they?
Miles, are you excited tonight?
I don't. Mandalorian?
Mandalorian. I know you're back on the train.
Yeah, maybe I got a daughter date night, so hopefully I can talk her into it.
All right, if you watched Snowfall on FX, that's the series finale tonight, so you wanted to watch that one.
Okay, thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. The Ohio fiscal officer steals funds so he can buy hot tubs, owls, drums, and a snow cone machine. Meanwhile, Google and Apple complain about Amazon Kindle and all of the pages of peen. Dead body saves hearse driver who crashed off a cliff. Man and baby on an airplane. They got into somewhat of a tiff. And if you're looking for a cold Miller High Life in France, good luck with that. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, we go to Washington, D.C., where Secret Service had to stop an intruder on the White House lawn.
Just a tourist.
You ready for this? While intruding on the White House property is heavily discouraged and usually carries some sort of penalty, the invader was released within minutes without so much as a slap on the wrist.
Hell yeah?
It's because our intruder was a curious toddler that had managed to slip between the bars of the gate surrounding the property. Secret Service quickly swept the kid up and returned them to their family, who, after a short round of questioning, was sent on their way.
It's funny because a lot of people go, how did a 2-year-old get through security? I'll tell you why. These snipers on the roof of the White House don't typically kill children.
Right.
They kind of understand. Maybe this is an extenuating circumstance.
They're not robots, man.
2-year-old. It's just not something they do.
Shut!
That's why I said act like a kid day. Like it was the top. Oh. Yes. I breached the White House security. It's act like a kid day.
As long as you're giving that awkward run all the way up.
I'm just here to poop.
Just saying.
No, man. It's act like a kid day.
Relax, everybody.
Damn it. Put the gun down. No.
Let's give it a try. It's our self-proclaimed holiday, Act Like a Kid Day.
No, man, I crapped myself earlier. We're good.
But I need you to change my pants for me.
Where's my mom?
Good call, right?
You didn't choose box. Put the gun down.
It's Act Like a Kid Day, dude. Relax.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. In other news, we go to Florida for the... Okay, for the mugshot of the week. A man had police called on him on reports of acting erratically and smoking drugs outside of a convenience store. Officers pulled up just in time to see the man fanning his inebriated flames and smoking something right then and there, which he later admitted was Molly. A subsequent search...
All right.
Did you say he was smoking it?
Smoking it.
Huh. Wow.
I didn't even know you could smoke
Neither
Molly.
did I, Ted.
I don't think he knew until that moment. Let me light it on fire.
Jesus.
I got it. A subsequent search turned out a small bag of cocaine from his pocket, and he was arrested. His mugshot is making the rounds because he inexplicably is doused in a milky white substance. Yeah.
What is the substance, Mike?
They don't know, man.
But it's all down his neck. It's all over his hair.
Oh, yeah. It clearly landed on top of his head.
But the article does not say what that is and how it got there and why he's covered in
Neither
this
does the arrest
milkshake
report.
or whatever it is.
Tase him.
There's no...
Sorry, man. Like, look, bro.
Dude, what is that?
If I have to arrest you and you're covered in stuff I don't understand, you get tased.
You just got your taser
Don't
out.
tase me, bro.
Tell me what the hell is all over you, man. Damn. Let's go to Belgium, where they've destroyed a shipment of delicious U.S. beer. A shipment from the States was seized by customs, and nearly 2,400 cans of beer were rejected and destroyed because they were in violation of a protected designation of a nearby city, Champagne, France, Ted.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't caught on yet, the beers that were destroyed were cans of Miller High Life, which is sloganed as, Ted,
the champagne of beer.
Correct.
And it was a personal guy that ordered it from Germany because he was having a party. So it was never on its way to France.
Nope.
But they carry a lot of weight in Europe. Here was their thing.
Nothing can be champagne if it's not from Champagne.
They don't care that it's your slogan. They said, but you put it on your can. It physically says Champagne.
Yeah.
So they destroyed it. You destroyed Miller High Life.
And my problem is that it does not say that it is champagne. It's not Miller champagne. It is the champagne of beer.
Right, but they have their champagne.
Yeah,
like everything else is sparkling white wine, Prosecco, this and that.
Right.
Nothing else can be called champagne.
So
that's
if
their
you
whole
print
thing.
it on the label, right? They knew.
If you name your penis champagne, they will destroy it.
They will mop it off.
You'll be castrated.
And burn it in a fire.
That's not champagne.
Only if you tattoo it on there. If it physically says champagne on your penis, they will take your penis.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Lungs hair.
That's a great beer, though.
It is.
I don't put champagne on people I don't like.
High Life, especially in the small little ponies.
Yeah, it's been a
So
minute since
tasty.
I've had one, but I won't turn one down if one.
I enjoy a High Life.
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of fun drinking them out of those glass bottles.
Yeah.
Or the little stubbies. I like the tiny little stubbies.
Well, it's beer. It's fine.
Yeah. They're just hard to find. You don't get them at bars.
No.
I feel classy when I drink a High Life, even though it's cheap beer.
You feel classy when you drink a High Life?
Yeah. Like blue collar classy. You know, like maybe that man works with his hands.
It's a special
I make
occasion.
sure not to shake hands with him, so they'll know I don't.
No calluses on that one.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, it's our anniversary. Pop yourself a Miller High Life.
It's the champagne and beers, mama.
He makes that sound when he pops it open. He makes the champagne sound when he pops it open.
Hey, look, champagne is champagne in my world on a Sunday. You mix it with some orange juice, I'm in.
Good God.
You never had beer and orange juice?
No.
But you sitting around, you don't have to have champagne. Like, I enjoy a mimosa, but you could easily mix some beer and orange juice.
Bubbles are bubbles, man.
Yeah, have a little cocktail going. And you won't be hungover because of all the healthy citrus.
I feel like bubbles are like the last words you said to a cop before he handcuffed you. Hey, man, bubbles are bubbles.
Tased.
Yeah.
Tased. Google and Apple are ganging up on Amazon. It's come to the attention of both companies that Amazon has not done their part in ensuring that the sale of pornography is not something that you'll encounter with these major companies.
Wait, what?
Reports have come in that you can go onto the Amazon Kindle store and readily purchase thousands upon thousands of pictures and articles featuring pornographic material.
So what is their problem?
I don't know.
If they don't want to do it, don't do it.
I think it goes through like Amazon Pay and like Google Pay or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're getting paid.
I'm not positive. Don't quote me on like any of this, but for whatever reason maybe this is just like an alliance between all three of these guys. I have no idea. I didn't dive that deep into it. But with that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of the head chef and Ted's Meat and Potatoes in the game known as Big Dummy.
Yes, indeed, it is all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Inside School of Washington is open to all Washington State residents grades K through 12. We have a personalized approach to education. Whether it's college credits with dual enrollment, career readiness, or credit recovery, we will accommodate your family's needs. The 23-24 school year enrollment is open now. Go to k12.com/ISWA. That's k12.com/ISWA to find out more. We've been around for over 12 years, doing online schooling successfully. No tuition fee and a high success rate. The support you and your student need. k12.com/ISWA.